22 in Pal Aransal. She won back in 2019 in Val Nor as well. Great professional on and off the bike. She'll be missed. Can she give herself a bit of a fireworks send-off this afternoon here in Leger? Well, let's check out the course she will be racing on. It's a classic. Our own Josh Carlson has been round it. Here's Carlson on course.
Leger, the course that riders love and loathe all at the same time. Long physical climbs, extremely technical descents. You know it, we know it. Let's check it out now.
As we make our way up the climb, these little man-made rock gardens burn matches lap after lap.
We're into the first descent here, and these routes and this root garden is by far the most technical of the whole track. There's outside lines, there's inside lines, there's holes, and there is roots galore. The way you enter dictates the corner going into the big famous drop. Let's check that out now. At the top of the second climb is where the climbing is at its most technical. There's roots going every single direction. This upper section is mega dynamic. With multiple lines and multiple direction changes, it makes this section at the top of the climb very, very crucial for the next descent.
Once we're out of the climb, these sneaky little rocks here, and one little mistake can wreak havoc on your overall positioning. Woo-hoo-hoo! You're cooking down there.
Well, as the rain comes down and the rain jackets come out, we're here at the iconic four-cross berms next to the big old Leger sign. These massive corners here are huge. A chance for our riders to take a breath. Also, if you're in the back of the bunch or the front of the bunch, you can really attack these corners more than you think to get a gap before the final grass section into the finish.
And onto the slippery grass that made a name for itself in 2025. And with the rain lurking around, it is slipperier than you can imagine. Couple of rocky steps. Can we get the wall ride? Yes, we can. Into the final rocks, out of the last corner, and that brings us home. Woo!
As the rain starts to come down, we are in for one hectic race. The Leger course is a classic, known and loved by many. The weather is going to be what it's going to be come race day, but as always, we are going to see you guys trackside.
Well, we have heard from one fast Dutch woman already. Let's hear from another. Puck Petersen back on a mountain bike this weekend. She's down there now.
Firstly, Puck, congratulations on your recent success at the Tour de Femme. How does it feel to be back on the mountain bike stage?
Yeah, thank you. Feels good. I'm happy to be back, and conditions are perfect now, so we'll get treated with a nice course.
What are your expectations today in Leger?
I expect a catch-up race. I'm fifth row, so it won't be easy to be directly in the front, but I hope just have a good feeling throughout and find the mountain bike feel back.
We hope so too.
Thank you.
Puck Petersen here and ready to go. As we get ready to go racing here in the Haute Savoie, the final UCI Cross Country World Cup of the season in Leger. First on the front row is going to be Ronja Blurtlinger of Live Factory Racing. Young Swiss star. Shone so brightly at times this season. Can she now get the job done and get her debut elite level win here in France? Joining her on the front row for Origin Racing Division. Got that debut win at her home round earlier on the season. Martina Berta, the Italian national champion. Can she give herself the perfect warm-up for next weekend's UCI Cross Country World Championships? Also in Italy, Val di Sole Trentino. Berta will be hoping she's timed her form to perfection. Speaking of timing things to perfection, Alessandra Keller of Thomas Maxson Still to clock a win in 2026. Goes well in Leger. Can one of the real fan favourites of this sport, Keller, get her 2026 account opened up? Laura Steger, Specialized Factory Racing's Austrian national champion. Steger heading to the line. Won in Nova Mesto Namarave earlier on this season. Next up, for Lapierre PXR Racing, it's Nicole Kohler. Kohler, so good for what feels like forever now, 2 seasons or so. She's been knocking on the door, needs to kick it down eventually. 4th in the short track on Friday evening. Next up, Sevilla Blanc. Blanc got her debut short track win in Lenzerheide earlier on this season. Still on the hunt for that debut cross-country Olympic victory. Plenty of climbing in this course will suit her nicely. 2nd in La Tuile earlier on this season. Jenny Risvids, the UCI cross-country world champion. Risvids for Canyon. Head into the far side of the front row with the red #1 plate. But the victor in the short track on Friday evening. Make it her pitch to do a double. Another double this season for Sina Fry would be just a ticket ahead of the Worlds next weekend. On that new custom painted Specialized Epic, resplendent in the European champs colours. Ice vests are out. Ice vests are off, umbrellas are down. The team staff clear the start grid as I'm joined in the commentary booth by the one, the only Ollie Beckinsale. Ollie, this one has
Hello chat.
an absolute classic.
Comment ça va? J'espère que vous allez bien. Excusez-moi pour le retard et tout, mais on est là, on est présent. Je vais préparer les pronostics et puis vous allez pouvoir voter. Je suis derrière, je suis par là. Mais c'est juste que les courses sont tellement longues que c'est difficile de commenter. Mais voilà, je suis à côté. Enjoy la course et puis à tout de suite.
As we wait for the random start, before things get very, very serious here in Leger. The lights will turn red, and then we will be racing.
You will start any car within the next 15 seconds. Riders, watch the lights.
And they are off in Leger. Great start from Martina Berger on the left-hand side of your shot. The Italian national champions jersey. Sina Fry, though, like she's out for a Sunday stroll. Rides away from them. Blurtlinger alongside her now as they head up the hill for the first time.
Yeah, Jenny Risved slightly slower off the line, and we've got this little corner and then into the climb. No start loop, we're straight into the climb proper.
Oh, they're coming together further down the pack. Everyone stays upright.
And this is long 4-minute climb. They go up the gravel, then onto the grass, and then it keeps going up, gets super steep, but there's a pinch point in the woods about 2/3 of the way up, so positioning, and Jenny Risved has recovered already straight to the front.
Yeah, here comes Alessandra Keller around the outside as well. You want to get to the big boulders at the top of this climb before anyone else does to get yourself a clear run on the way through them. Sina Fry now, as so often we've seen this season, not letting Jenny Risved have it all her own way.
But it's so important here not to go too deep into the red on this first climb. It's a long climb. We're at medium altitude, just over 1,000 meters here, so riders have to be a little bit careful. And it's going to be hard. We see Evie Richards just trying to move up, going elbow to elbow with Kira Baum, trying to get that smoother left line.
You can see how busy it is back in the pack as well. Riders coming together. It's wide, but it's a really uneven surface. Really choppy, difficult to get the power down on the loose, chunky gravel, but it is Jenny Risved, the world champion from Canyon, who is out front for the time being.
And this is where we're going to see Maxwell and Puck Peterson just that bit further back down the pack. They're going to have to take their time and work their way through. It'll be interesting to see who we can see those deep in the group.
Risved's already with a bit of a gap at the top of the climb. Sina Fry will be monitoring it closely though. Sevilla Blanc's in there as well. Gwen Gibson just getting blocked off slightly as she tried to go round. There's Puck Peterson, made her way forward nicely.
Maxwell just going up the outside to mid-pack, probably about 30th position at the moment. And this is where we're going to get a problem. We turn the corner here into the woods, this rock section. Risved flows through, gets her own line, but once you go back to about 12, they're going to get a bit tangled up.
This is that section we talked about. There's only a couple of lines through, and once the pack hit, you see Evie Richards has just been on clip. Puck Peterson swings out wide and goes round those two big boulders and has to merge back into traffic.
But nice work then, Puck Peterson went for the unobvious line, carried good speed, took back 4 places then just in one go.
Yeah, great awareness from Puck Peterson, great bike riding.
Yeah, Maxwell through that section now as well, so now they can get into their ride. But look at Jenny Risved, she's on.
There's a scramble on here at the front because Jenny Risved has already made a break. You can see 12 seconds between her and the reigning overall title holder, Samara Maxwell. First time we've seen her this season for Decathlon Ford, but it's Risved's establishing the lead at the front now, Ollie.
Yeah, and we saw last year on this circuit, Risved's doing the double short track and cross country, and she did something very, very similar. We described at the time similar in technique to Pauline Ferrand-Prevot. Interesting, she goes around the longer outside line, but less steep. It's really steep on these corners, up to 20% on the hairpins. So going around the outside, just shave a bit of form as we see Puck Peterson going around the outside as well and carrying speed. Sevilla Blanc now moves through.
I think Blanc has maybe got a warning that she can't let Risved get too far up the road, feels like she can go faster than Sina Fry is currently circulating. There's Puck Peterson moving on towards the back of Evie Richards now, and there's Samara Maxwell on the left-hand side of your shot on the 666 bike.
Really good start for Puck Peterson. She was 33rd on the grid, she's up to 12 just in one climb.
Yeah, Samara Maxwell, there was shades of her old self in the short track on Friday evening. That was sadly put to a premature end due to a rear flat, but it will have been a wake-up call for the rest of the pack that Maxwell back and looking really, really fast, Ollie.
Yeah, and we duck down here then to the centre multi-line, a little new section. Jenny Risved is fast and composed. She's deceptive because she looks so smooth on the bike, but she looks like she's going slower. Yeah. But actually, she is on fire on the descent, carries so much speed, and it's got, all on this circuit, we've got 2 big climbs, 2 big descents. We're dropping down now with this big double section, and then we're into the woods, and then we're into the steepest, probably the most technical section of the course with the ramp, and then into the roots.
Sina Fry, Martina Berta, Alessandra Keller, Kohler.
Morvin coming through as well, another good race. Evie Richards, Puck Peterson there, 12th position for Puck. And yeah, I would say really good start, moved away through. Let's keep an eye on Maxwell. There she is coming through now, 666 on the board.
Yep, Sally Maxwell just has to, just had that line closed off on her there.
She knows she's got to get up to the front and wants to get past that ride. I don't think anyone's going to let the door open for Maxwell on this descent.
No, and it's nibbly, this descent as well, and you can see how dusty it is out there, and needs to do this drop and get it ticked off nice and cleanly to get past the riders ahead of her. Nicely done from Samara Maxwell.
And it's this next section, that deep rut that's appearing. You've got to get locked into that one, use that as a berm, then into the big roots in this corner. But Maxwell at the moment, she's losing a little bit of time. You can see Resved's on her own, picking a line. No stress, or less stress, forward to the point.
Yeah,
Maxwell,
no stress is maybe a bit of a...
less stress. Coming back, Maxwell's, she's stressed, she's trying to get past riders, she's making different lines, risking punches.
What do you think of this, though? Sevilla Blanc made a big effort to get past Sina Fry at the top of the first climb. It seems like she's got Jenny Rissved's now within sight, 7 seconds the gap, but she might have this under control nicely.
Yeah, Rissved's had that gap at 12 seconds at one point, and Blunt coming back now, 7 seconds, and it's a long climb. This climb is a bit more in steps than the first one. The first one is a big winch all the way to the top. This one, it's stepped up, and then we're into some really steep corners and up in pitches, and Rissved's just carrying speed through the false flats. And
as you say, it's so deceptive, isn't it? Like, it just looks casual.
Yeah, like a practice lap. She looks like she's doing a fast tempo practice lap, but the pace she's actually putting down is at top level.
Sevilla Blanc, though, looking really strong behind her. Gap now 4 seconds.
Yeah, Martina Berta followed by Kellen Berta with that really good win. I think the win of a fantastic performance in Le Tour on home soil, and it's the way she won the race. It was patient.
I've been wanting to talk to you about Martina Berta. What are you expecting her from today? We've got a big race next weekend. UCI World Champs in Val di Sole Trentino. She won in Italy earlier on this season. That has to be one with a big red ring around it for her, isn't there?
100%. 2 races in Italy this year. The big one at the World Champs in Le Tour. And the way she won that race, Jenny Rissved's at Le Tour. Remember, she went off really hard. Looked like she was just going to ride away with it. Berta came back to her and then took on for the win. Really well paced and a kind of mature, experienced ride. Didn't use a hot head, and we're just hearing now from Josh on course, Stefan Tampier, the decathlon manager, saying to Sevilla Blanc, calm, chill, just pace your efforts and come back.
Maybe he's heard you.
It's so easy on the sidelines to say, take it chill. You're in the middle of a World Cup on the first lap with Jenny Rissved riding off into the distance.
And as I say, it's the way she does it. Berta now getting a scamper on, going past Fry. What do you think? Sina Fry, maybe does she have a lap sort of delta in her head and she just wants to achieve it, or she is giving it everything? Maybe tired from those Euros?
It's such a difficult period. You've had a massive run of European races. You're hugely fatigued. The riders have had a small break and then gone into a big training block. Some did the European Championship, some didn't. Then into this race. It's very difficult to time the form to perfection, and you're trying to peak for this weekend of the world, 2 biggest races of the year, and it's finding that balance. Some riders get it right, some riders get it massively wrong. Sina Fry did a great ride on Friday, but it's how that translates into cross-country on Sunday.
It's one of those things, isn't it, that, you know, do you go all in, empty the tank, find out how the legs are and risk burning yourself out ahead of the Worlds, or do you just ride a steady World Cup, or is everyone else riding a steady World Cup and you've got a chance at a win today?
And I think it's this circuit in particular. It's very physical. Those climbs, 4 minutes long each, give or take, and a bit of altitude. You have to ride at your own pace. If you force it too hard, there's some circuits where you roll the dice, another Mesto, and you go, right, I'm just going to go in, go to a blow. This circuit, you blow really easy and you blow big. So you've got to just pace your own effort.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide out there, and it's quite a compact footprint, this Léger circuit as well, so fans lining it the whole way around, one of the best crowds of the season. I mentioned it earlier on, I think most people who were at the downhill after party have now surfaced. Well, you can have your say at home for the best cross-country rider of the round across the 2 races, powered by Gobic. Use the QR code on your screen now to decide which rider gets a jersey at the end of the race. But Sevilla Blanc has brought this right back towards Jenny Rissved, you know.
Yeah, good riding in that top technical section by Blanc, and she's closed the gap now.
Can she make Jenny's attack work for her?
Yeah, I think so. Pull clear of the bunch and just get onto the back of Rissved, follow the wheel. And I think for Jenny Rissved, she likes to ride on her own. We've seen her biggest successes. She's broke clear, broke early, broke the resolve of the other riders, and then gets into her own pace. And I think if Sevilla Blanc can catch, that will kind of put Rissved under a bit of pressure.
So this is the descent that will be used for the sector analysis, just under 500 metres in length, 57 vertical metres height difference. So we'll be using that throughout the race to give you some kind of indication as to how much time is being gained or lost.
But it shows a 57-metre drop in a descent for a cross-country is a big descent, and it gives the opportunity for the better technical riders to pull back time and make a difference, and also recover.
Yeah, super fast descent. You see, great shot there. Blunt leaning onto the side. Letharge, we've seen so many riders wiped out in that right-hander over the years. Blunt right back with wrist fids now as they head up through this really, really steep couple of turns we saw on the short track on Friday evening. Blunt looking super punchy here in the J.
Yeah, and a big move from, obviously in terms of position, but psychology as well. She's back on the wheel of Jenny Rissveds. Come onto that long tarmac session, just sit on the wheel. I think Martina Berta, like you say, is going to get back in the mix too.
Berta maybe not overthinking world champs next weekend and having a good crack at it here in Leger today. Fry and Keller are together behind them. Then it's Ronja Blurtlinger. Slower start from Blurtlinger than maybe we would have expected today, Ollie.
Yeah, and I think another circuit, she's one of the more powerful riders, and I think this circuit she has to ride at her own pace on the climbs and not go deep into the red. Another rider who's worked up well. Peters are now up to 8th position, so really good first lap for her. Maxwell 15th as well, another rider getting back on terms.
There is Puck Petersen for Alpecin Premier Tech.
Yes, the Puck winner on this circuit 2 years ago, and again, she's great on the climbs, coming out the Tour de Femme, Queen of the Mountains, I'm sorry, in that race. So we know she's got the climbing legs. The key is, has she recovered from that Tour de Femme?
Yeah, and just loving being back on her mountain bike again. Puck Petersen really enjoys life off-road as much as she does on-road. Would race her bike every day of the week if you give her the opportunity to. Crosses the line. And the lap one is Rissveds, Blunt, Berta, Fry, Keller, Blurtlinger, Kohler, Petersen.
Paces are now 27 seconds, and then you see the pace that Jenny Rissved's putting on that first lap, and maybe she's aware that Puck Petersen and Maxwell are deep in the pack, so you just force a lap on the first. Just try and make it hard work for them.
There is Maxwell, stalking Lyra Steger, stands up out of the saddle, shapes the passer. Yolanda Neff down in 24th on the occasion of her 85th UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup start. It's the same for Rebecca Henderson, but meanwhile, there's a wheel change further back in the order. Easy to do around here. Plenty of rocky edges. Lomiona.
So you see Jenny Rissveds now, she knew that Blunt had got back on the wheel and Berta, she's just knocked the pace off. She doesn't want to lead up this climb. And that's going to enable Fry and Keller to get back on terms.
Yeah, what do you make of this? Jenny Rissveds sort of scampered off from the start, but they've all sort of pinned her back now.
Yeah, last year, and we've seen a number of races, like I say, that Jenny Rissveds has gone out hard on that one in a similar way to Pauline von Prevost done when she's won big races and one round here as well. And I think it's that psychology of getting a gap, putting the riders under pressure, and then you can ride your own lines. But I don't know if it was part of that plan. A group of 5
in the same shot, Puck Petersen and Samara Maxwell. Two of the big forces of modern elite women's cross-country racing back in action here at the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Leger, the Haute-Savoie.
And 37 seconds on this circuit. It's a big distance to have lost in a lap, but in overall, in terms of the race distance, 37 seconds is Leger, is something that you can pull back.
At the front is now Rissveds and Blunt have got a little bit of a gap, maybe twisting the grip a wee bit, Ollie.
Yeah, I think just when we were focusing on where the whereabouts of Petersen and Maxwell, Rissveds is just attacked. You can see on these steep climbs now accelerating, but Blunt's got it covered.
I tell you what, this one, I think this is what we're going to see all afternoon. You know, it's nervy stuff. It's getting stretched and they come back together and then they sort of separate again. Well, Ronja Eibel, unfortunately stung by a bee, had an allergic reaction yesterday for Origin Racing Division and just struggling to recover from it.
It's Blunt now who's hitting the front.
Sevilla Blunt is now in the lead of the race, up out of the saddle, looking like she's attacking Jenny Rissveds here. Rissveds needs to respond.
Yeah, Blunt took her first World Cup win in the short track in Lenzerheide, but never winning a cross-country. Well, she's had the lead before, but it's that experience of being at the front of a World Cup and taking the lead, and you don't want it to take, another adrenaline rush and get your head.
Here's the replay. Different line choice from Blanc.
Yeah, Blanc going for the inside, the more technical and steeper A line. Rediff going for the more flowing B line round the side, but that gap is opening now.
Yeah, we said at the start that this place does suit Sevilla Blanc, and she's making a count here on lap 2 out of 7 in Leger. Berthe and Fry still together behind them, just distanced by that attack of Blanc that has put her into the lead of this race. There's Keller in 5th place.
You can see now the dust, it's rained so much on Friday, been dry since, and it's now the dust is coming back in the sun, and you can see Alessandra Keller just looking for that grip, the rear wheel just slipping out.
Yeah, Keller back on the 29-inch wheeled bike as well, opting for the familiarity over the 32-inch she raced back in Lenzerheide. It's so difficult, Ollie, isn't it? Because you need so much time on a bike to be comfortable.
I was chatting to a mechanic, Gavin, down at Thomas, and saying that actually they ride so differently, you need more time than they expected, and so they're going to leave it to the winter now to go back and then do more testing on that 29-32 debate.
Yeah, I definitely want to try one, but it was maybe a little bit early for Alessandra Keller. You can see Jenny Rissvid's heading over the left-hand side into a couple of big holes.
So difficult that descent. As you come over the top, it's completely blind, then into 2 big drops.
That left-hander as well is a lot tighter and a lot lumpier in the lift. You've got to anchor up for it. As Blanc, you can see, stretches the elastic band again out of the woods.
If you're descending well today, you can use those descents to recover. And then it means that when you hit this climb now, you're just a little bit fresher. So the descents at Leger aren't hugely technical. They're not as hard as Le Tuile, for example, but they are long.
Forget anywhere's as hard as Le Tuile.
Yeah, that's another level.
But yeah, Rissvid's marking off this attack from Sevilla Blanc. See Alessandra Keller now starting to tap away at it as Sina Fry overtakes Martina Berthe to head into 3rd place. So maybe Fry was doing exactly what we suspected and just riding her own tempo at the start.
But the pace is on at the front. They've increased the gap now to Puck Peters as she's lost 5 seconds in that first half a lap. Maxwell back at 45, so Maxwell is holding pace.
Look at Blanc having a good look behind her there. Just seeing, and Ollie, these top flight cross-country athletes, being able to monitor where your opponents are and what the race is looking like whilst you're absolutely on the rivet.
And it's the length of the climbs in Leger. They're on that kind of 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. They're just those sort of efforts. If you've ever done 3-minute intervals, you know how hard they are. The lactate
I can't say
it's a full VO2 max effort.
There is Sammy Maxwell behind Puck Peterson now. Yeah, I managed to get to 41 years of age by doing 3-minute intervals. Thanks very much. Rebecca Henderson also announced her retirement at the end of this season in the Australian National Champions jersey.
But Maxwell, she passed the test in that short track race. Unfortunately, she got to the front group, really fast laps, then suffered a flat tyre. But the confidence she would have got, she knows she's got the pace, she knows she's got the form after 6 months about racing at the front of a World Cup race. And look at the way she's attacking there, going over the top of the steep ramps, changing down through the gears. Those are all the signs of somebody who's on top of the form, on top of the gear.
Samara Maxwell is back, very much looking like
going
last year's version,
Maxwell is going fast.
Great to have her back with us here at the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series, the reigning overall title holder, of course, in the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup, and she is in 9th at the minute, 43 seconds off the front of the race. But we know Samara Maxwell, when she has the legs, that's well within range. Gwen Gibson riding a good race behind her, but just having to... Oh, they're all together here at the front now. Sina Fry has gone to the lead, just ahead of one of the steepest parts of the course. Another change of lead. And Ollie, we maybe discounted Sina Fry early in this race. Started slow, but she's warmed into it nicely.
Could have just been some very, very smart riding by Sina Fry. We talked about the start, how it's hot, it's at medium altitude, and the length for the climbs, and you've just got to pace your effort. Sina Fry's probably ridden a very, very smart first
lap.
Look
at that for an attack as well, just pulled out. And Rissvid went around the other side of Sevilla Blanc. Blanc losing 2 positions at the bottom of that climb, but also clever riding from Sina Fry in that she let Blanc go and catch Risphids and bring her back in. She didn't put the chase on herself and burn a few matches.
But Sina Fry, yeah, it's looking after that box of matches throughout a race like this in Leger, and Sina Fry doing a really smart first lap. No tactics, just doing your own thing. And then she's managed that pace that she set, pulled it back to the front group. And going into this wood section, it's the one part of the course where you really benefit from being out in front. It's very technical, it's very bitty, you're in and out the rocks and roots. If you're in front for this section now, it drops down, there's no nice line. It's just working out the best of a bad bunch.
Interesting graphic there, saying Jenny Risphids has lost 5.3 seconds on that climb alone to Sina Fry already in this race. And how often do you see Jenny Risphids lose time on a climb? Not often.
Yeah, it's a rare one. But again, maybe just thinking of just pacing that effort, it's going to become more of a tactical affair than it maybe looked like on that first climb.
Cagey stuff.
Yeah, Martina Berta, good last part of that climb and technical descent back on to the group.
Berta has that Keller quality, doesn't she? Yeah. She's dogged. She will not give up on this race for 1 second.
But the way she won that race in the Twil Berta, just so confident, measured her effort, and very fast on the tech.
And I mean, that was Risphids, like, because to our eyes, she didn't put a wheel wrong start to finish. One of the best performances of the season. Look at them plummeting down through the roots now. All four together at the front.
And that is a tough line. If you can straight line the whole lot, there's a good bit of speed to be made, and it's really dodgy down through there. Really big ruts, all off camber as well.
I have ridden that bit. I haven't done your 3-minute intervals, but I've done a lot of laps of that particular section of this bike park. There's Puck Petersen in 8th place. Yeah, Leger in the Haute-Savoie in France. A really huge area for mountain biking in the summer months. Not just for the French, but a lot of British riders come here as well. Somewhere that it's really hard not to enjoy yourself on and off the bike. Sina Fry enjoying herself at the minute out front on the number 8 for Specialized Factory Racing. Fry getting down low behind the stem, taking the weight off her legs slightly before they head back up through these dusty, now grassy turns.
It is interesting to see Sina Fry just going over the top of that steep climb and then really accelerating hard. We saw her doing a similar sort of thing in the Shield track.
166 beats per minute in zone 4 on the Whoop Live of Sina Fry. So she does have more to rev. That's a live graphic. They'll swing up and down as depending on where she is on the course, but Mark Beaumont reporting in that Jenny Risphids going for the inside line in the 4-cross section, trying to push past. 169 beats per minute now in the Whoop Live.
Really interesting with the heart rate. This is one of those circuits with the long climbs where zone 4 is your friend. You know, you definitely do not want to be in zone 5 early in this race. Like I said, a different course like another Mesto, you can punch and recover the shorter climbs. On this one, you just want to lock into that zone 4 and hold it there.
Mark also saying that Evie Richards of Track Unbroken, one of the fastest riders through the descents, currently in 14th. Richards. You can follow the live time, and of course on the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series website. But meanwhile, Sina Fry pushing on at the front as everyone else came in for a bottle.
And so Jenny Risphids then just backing off a bit, looking at Sevilla Blanc to come through and lead the chase, but that gap's going to increase.
Ronja Blurtlinger crosses the line. Blurtlinger currently in 7th place. There's Puck Petersen just taking a gel behind her.
And Nicole Collar doing a good lap coming through, just moving up now into 6th position. What's quite interesting, looking at lap times, the first lap, Jenny Risphids in 11:17, they've dropped back to an 11:57, so they went out really hot. Some of the other riders have just maintained a steadier pace from lap 1 to 2, and I think that'll pay dividends.
This woman on your screen now, Sammy Maxwell, into 9th place, and is that the end of phase 1 of her battle plan, do you think, just to get free of the traffic, get into the top 10?
So you know you love my lap times.
I love your lap times.
Sammy Maxwell, 11:59, 11:59, back to back, same metric.
For those of you at home, you've never seen a man look more content than Ollie Beckinsale when he's analysing lap times.
That does it for me.
Fastest rider per lap, Jenny Risphids, and then Sina Fry on lap 2. As you'd expect, those two pushing really hard at the front. Keller hoving into view now of this front group. The work being shared around for the time being. You can see just the surface on this climb.
Oh, it's tough.
It's tough. It's tough to run up it, never mind ride up it.
Did my last little lap jog this morning, and this climb, it just keeps winching the whole way up. It's pretty steep the whole way, and then you go into the steep sections at the top. The steepest hairpins, everyone, about 20% on the inside, and yeah, it's just a really tough climb all the way into the tech. And when you get to the top, you don't drop into the descent. You then got to wind around the woods.
Yeah, it's
really
awkward, isn't it?
Circuit.
Mentally really taxing as well. It's quite a busy climb. There is Cook Peterson in 8th place. And there's Maxwell just behind her on the 666.
And I think that's a good tandem as well to get Maxwell when she catches puck. The two of them, there'll be a bit of a synergy, I think, between the pair of them. They can just try and close that gap. But all the time that Maxwell's lost was on that first lap stuck in traffic.
I tell you what, Gwen Gibson as well, doing really, really well, hanging on the back of Sammy Maxwell, currently in 10th place, the American. There's another American, the US national champion, in 2nd place for the time being, Sevilla Blanc.
Similar tactics that Sina Fry used. Obviously, the short tracks are obviously a far shorter race, but she led it from, she was confident enough in her form ability to set this tempo, damage the other riders. You're just doing little body blows the whole time.
176 versus 181 beats per minute on the Whoop Live of Sina Fry versus Martina Berta. Berta into the red zone.
And you can see the result of that. Berta just drifting off the back, just gone into the red.
Whoop Live giving us a really good visual on the effort being demanded of these top flight endurance athletes. Berta, 183 beats per minute, still in the red zone in the Italian national champs jersey. Meanwhile, Sina Fry.
That's the bit for Sina Fry for me. It's the accelerations as you get over the false flat, and you see straight away Sevilla Blanc follows. Risved's a bit of a gap now.
Just saw Tempier, Stefan Tempier, Sevilla Blanc's team manager on the inside there, just saying calm, calm. Again, very easy to say. Here's the battle at the front then. Sina Fry, Sevilla Blanc, Jenny Risford.
Yeah, good ride by Nicole Kohler. 22 seconds at the moment, so she's holding a good pace, the Swiss champ.
It just feels like Kohler, she's so consistent. She's really good in around that 4th, 5th, 6th wheel position, but she just doesn't have the punch at the minute to run with these three at the front of these races.
No, 100%. And you see some of their riders like a Ronja Bluttinger as well, has these peaks and troughs this year, which is almost better than a consistent 5th.
As they head through the route again, Risford's just taking a slightly different line.
There's a new section for this year they've put in. It's dual line. But that inside, you have to go a little bit higher, so you lose a little bit of time, but you gain it back on the entry.
Just sits down, takes the weight off her leg, gets that double jump ticked off. Really fast section of track this. 3 doubles in a row as they head then in towards this steep wooded descent, and it gets choppy again. Risford's going to the inside there. Really good bike riding from Jenny Risford as ever.
Yeah, and you see how rough it is, the big, deep roots, and then you go into that section.
I mean, we're used to seeing Sina Fry on the descents, but absolutely bulldozing her way down through those routes.
You could see the difference then. Sina Fry just throwing it in, and it's blind as you come over the top of there.
I always feel that that left-hander, it just spoils that little descent because they gather so much speed down off the drop and across the routes, and then you have to anchor up and really navigate that awkward left-hander that kind of brings them back together again.
Do you want a nice big berm in there?
Yeah, big berm. Smash it down low, off you go.
There's just this little bit of gap. Sina Fry, Blunt, Risved's just backing off a little bit, but she is able to close straight away again.
And you can see the difference. Buck Peterson just anchoring up as she goes off the edge. Blurtlinger,
the fastest.
Route 1. She was so fast in the tweel down the technical descent. But Sammy Maxwell looking good as well.
Yeah, Maxwell not rusty on the descents, flew off the top of that one. But you did see the difference. Buck Peters are a little bit tentative at the top, lost a little bit of time.
Keller past Berta now.
Yeah, and this is second section of that. Really steep, and we've got these steep corners now. We see Keller and Berta on. Climbs up, then you get a bit of recovery. Almost two different climbs. The first one is just a really big, steady winch the whole way to the top. This one more short punches.
What do you make of Jenny Risford's tactic? Rider in third wheel at the minute. She's 2 in front of her. And you can see her just leaving a bike length between them. We've seen her riding slightly different variations on the descents as well on the lines, and you just get the sense that Risford's is monitoring this. She has got...
The way she went off on the first lap, had good legs, clearly, but the plan A, I think, was to get a gap and break everybody.
Yeah.
That hasn't worked. Now plan B is to go tactical, sit on the back, see how everyone else is, and just wait till later in this race.
I think whenever you've had a season like Jenny Risford has had, basically first or second at pretty much every race, you learn a thing or two about planning. Alessandra Keller, though, moving back towards the front of the race, and this little lull has suited her nicely. There's Puck Peterson. Peterson 7th now for Alpecin Premier Tech.
Yeah, for Keller, compared to off her high standards, I think Keller not having the best season would do with a win. She normally will pick up at least one win in the year. Her best 3rd place at round 3 so far.
39 seconds between Puck Peterson and the front of the race. Looking good on the bike, Puck.
Yeah, interesting using the Aero Abus helmet. I'd want a few more vents in today.
Josh Carlson reporting in. Yolanda Neffs had a big crash in the routes after the drop. I'd say the last place you would want to have a crash on this circuit, as we look at Sammy Maxwell now moving past Blurtlinger. Gwen Gibson's got past her, but here's a little package of the returning overall title holder. Ollie, talk us through it.
Yeah, Maxwell unfortunately having that flat tire on the short track, so had to start a little bit further back on the grid, and you have to work your way through. She was doing a good job, got herself up to 8th, 9th position. We just saw in that last section, just drifting back a little bit. But it's so hard. If you've got to overtake early in those laps and go back through the traffic, you use so much energy. But it's great to see Maxwell back, and she's carrying good speed.
I'll tell you a rider we've not mentioned yet. Josh has just nudged me on. Isabella Holmgren, the Canadian, currently in 22nd.
From 55th on the grid.
It's not bad going, is it? But Maxwell looking back towards her determined best, and what we saw in Pala Andorra last season, the grit and determination that this Kiwi has shown means that she's not here to make up the numbers.
And I think the short track for Maxwell was a lot of, even though you try and downplay it, a lot of pressure and expectation, but she passed the test, did a great job. And I think now she can race this race, I think, more relaxed.
Samara Maxwell currently in 10th now, battling with Blurtlinger and Gibson. That little free ball, 54 seconds off the front. Larice Keller battling her way back towards the front. So Alessandra Keller has lost 11 seconds to Sina Fry in that climb over the course of the race, but you can see by the fact she turned the light green on lap 3 that the legs are coming back to Alessandra Keller now.
And Alessandra Keller has that kind of diesel engine that just sometimes, she's not the fastest on lap 1 or 2, but warms up. And if she's normally in the mix at the back end of the race, you're in trouble.
They rocket down through the routes once more. Keller, you can see, closing them down now. Risford's again going for that inside line, as does Keller as they head into the big bike park berms.
And that inside line is really difficult to take. You gain some speed and momentum, but it's so difficult. As you drop in, it's a big dip. It's all off camber, super rooty. It's easier said than done.
As you can see the braking bumps in the bike park berms from all the laps.
Keller's now right back on the wheel.
Great little aerial shot, give you an idea of the speed as they head back into the grass section, and it's really, really fast through here, all in. It's sort of, it does that thing where it grips and then it gets to a level of dry, sort of blowing out dust where it can surprise you.
We saw it halfway down that first descent on the, I think it was lap 2, when Keller's back wheel was drifting out, and a lot of the riders now, the conditions have dried out massively, and they're going for that almost file tread. It's got a little bit of a shoulder on the tyres, but it will mean that they need to be a bit careful in that loose dust.
I was watching the under-23 races through that right-hander, and it's total commitment, it's total trust that the thing is going to stick, but you're going so fast through it. Sina Fry still pushing a gear, but still in the lead.
The fact that Keller has managed to get back on this group despite Sina Fry putting a hard tempo. And Keller's got the legs.
Yeah, we were having a look at that custom painted specialised epic of Sina Fry's before the race. Looks great, doesn't it?
I love a white bike and I love a bit of blue. Right on my street.
Gloss white, hard to beat. 180 beats per minute on the Whoop Live, and Puck Peterson into the red zone. So Puck is out there and she is revving. She's currently 7th, 45 seconds off the lead, but putting some power down on the canyon.
Yeah, and that gap was 45 seconds last time through, so Peters is holding station at the moment.
All 4 riders through the tech feed zone. Martina Berta in 5th in as well, and it is getting hot out there, Ollie. Is this something they're going to have to manage?
Yeah, no, 100%, especially with the longer climbs, and they're all in the sun as well, so you need to keep that body temperature, that core body temperature down. And we saw the riders at the start with the ice vests on, and they're trying to start as cool as you can. You're warming the legs up, ticking over, but you're trying to keep the body temperature down. And you'll see the riders bathing themselves in ice down the neck. As you see Loana Lecomte coming through.
Yeah, the French national champion Lecomte not having a great time of it this season on the number 2 bike. Currently in 53rd, Loana Lecomte for BMC.
Yes, the Keller, the fastest on course on that lap. You can see the result of that. It's close back to the front group. Yeah, and Peters also good tempo on that lap at 47 seconds now. And he's just starting to drift out a little bit.
It looks to my eyes that Sina Fry at times is pushing a couple of cogs harder than anyone else in this group. We know, despite her compact size, she's a massive engine as well on her, so maybe not too much to read into. Martina Berta's in 5th, coming under the attentions now of Nicole Kohler on the Lapierre in the red of the Swiss national champion.
And we saw that fastest lap graphic, just shows the speed of Jenny Risved on lap 1. Absolutely flying. And
Josh reporting in that Samara Maxwell back into 8th position now. She's got past Flirtlinger. 40 seconds off the back of Martina Berta at the top 5 now. Samara Maxwell, the reigning UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup overall title holder, back with us for the first time this season, having missing the opening 6 rounds.
You can see the 2 climbs there side by side as we go up to the technical sections of the wood, and that front group of 4, it's all locked together.
Just can bring you a report now from the Isabella Holmgren desk. She's up to 20th.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 3 seconds back off the lead as we look at Puck Peterson. So Holmgren moving her way up. 180 beats per minute, 15.8 on the live strain gauge. So that goes up to 21. So Puck Peterson on lap 4 out of 7, sitting pretty high up in her reserves of energy on the Whoop Live. Again, giving us a really, really good insight into what's going on the bike. Nearly 16 out of 21 already for Puck Peterson. Fry, Blunk, Risved, Keller, your top 4.
Yeah, Holmgren, obviously just coming out as really successful Tour de France 10, 8th overall for the young rider. So she's can definitely climb, that's for sure.
That's not an issue. That is not an issue.
But we saw her first mountain bike race in a fair while, coming back 50th on the grid, moving her way through so fast.
Am I right in saying this is her debut elite level UCI Cross Country World Cup as well? Because she used to turn up the under-23 races sporadically in around the road calendar and absolutely blow them apart. Valentina Corvi, who's dominating this year, was really only the only rider that could take it to Isabella Holmgren if she was there. There is Rebecca Henderson, her last season. It's Isabella Holmgren who is behind her at the minute. Sophie Heavy Pedersen in there as well, and Vita Movrin, who started so quickly, now 19th. Is still Sina Fry of Specialized Factory Racing at the front. Sevilla Blanc just opens that turn out, makes it as wide as possible. Risved goes down the inside. Josh saying that Holmgren apparently is doing all the damage on that first climb, the big 4-minute number.
And I think that this circuit, like I say, climb heavy, but it's where the pressure where Sina Fry is putting on is actually on the descents. He's got the tempo over those false flats, but on the downhills.
Keller takes flight on the 11.
And we saw Sina Fry fresh for that European Championships top. Won that in Switzerland a few weeks ago, and on a really difficult course, super technical. She absolutely smashed it there. 2 minutes into Jenny Rissved's in. Oh, we saw Keller just drifting out wide. Where? Just as she came in, went flying out to the outside, having to force herself to go onto the B-line. There's a longer B-line to the outside of that jump.
There she gets a nice run down the bottom of it, so maybe just a wee sight-in effort to see if that works, and it does.
That was fast.
It looks like it sets you up for that minging little left I was on about earlier really nicely.
Yeah, so this is a couple of steep bridge. On a lot of sections, we have an A-line and a B-line, which is normally you'll lose about 5 or 6 sections. Maybe Alessandra Keller's worked out something that nobody else has. That B-line is pretty quick.
She's done it from 4th place out of sight as well. Again, a knowing look from Molly Beckinsale. Bit of racecraft in there you really enjoyed.
Yeah, love it. If people working out those lines, and team manager Ralph Neff, he was one of those riders, really smart with his recce and his lines in races, and Alessandra Keller from the same school.
Yeah, any
Peters are going for that B-line as well.
Now as well, yeah. Any flies on Ralph Neff, they're paying rent. That man, as wily as it comes, whenever it comes to line choice and technical riding. Alessandra Keller's team manager. I remember interviewing Pauline Ferrand-Prévot years ago, and she said her technique was she'd ride 3 laps at the start of every World Cup, and she would only ride the B lines because you never know, you might need them. They might close the A line. You might have a situation like that where it works in the race that doesn't. She'd just get them ticked off and then only ride the A line after that to get comfortable.
There you go, that's how you win bike races, is trying these different, the amount of times these racers spend on course, they're all here on first day. Most riders 4 or 5, some riders even do 5 or 6 laps on that day. Then the short track, and you'll see a lot of riders straight off to the short track, again another lap. And then on Saturday, just do a couple of easy ones just to get their eye around any new lines. But by the time they get to the race, 7 laps or so they're riding. And you've got a lot of teams now have the technical coaches as well, so they're doing laps as well to feed back to try and get the riders ahead of the game.
Sevilla Blanc in the lead now, taking a turn at the front from Sina Fry. Let's see if Blanc fancies launching a surprise attack. Cook Peterson currently in 7th, 59 seconds back off the lead.
Yeah, Samara Maxwell 8th position now, but Peterson and Maxwell just losing a little bit of time on this lap, so that front group pushing on.
Yeah, 6 seconds between the two of them on course. Blanc.
Yeah, Blanc hitting the front now.
I wonder if Blanc fancies just nudging this up a couple of clicks.
And I think it's Jenny Rissved. You see Sina Fry got the outside. Jenny Rissved will try and respond.
Sina Fry attacks now, moves into the lead, gets a wriggle on. Blanc thinks about going past her again, thinks better off and slots back in as they hit. Fry really likes this little steep punch up through here, doesn't she?
Go from the steep punch, then into the techie routes. Interesting to see on that last lap, it was Rissved who went in 2nd when Sina Fry did that. This time she's forced into 3rd. A bit further on, she was taking this steeper inside line.
These two together now, Puck Peterson and Samara Maxwell. This is what you want to see, isn't it? A head-to-head duel between these two for 7th position. Yes. Maxwell has got some forward momentum behind her. All he needs to get past Peterson here and keep that going.
Yeah, and I think it's good for the pair of them. They know each other well. They're very respectful of each other. They're both champions, and they can not necessarily work together on this course, but just try and help each other out. Take a climb each.
Meanwhile, behind, oh look, are we going to see Maxwell? Yeah, move, no. Deceptive angle there, what she just decided to press send and get past Peterson, but Peterson grits her teeth. Cracks on.
Is all over the back of Peterson. He'd love to get past on this climb.
Yeah. And does so, gets the job done. Samara Maxwell heading back towards the front of the race here at the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Ligier.
And just in the back of that shot, Gwen Gibson, and then her Trek Unbroken teammate, Evie Richards. Evie Richards had a slightly dodgy lap too, but she's coming back through now.
I can tell you behind them, Isabella Holmgren, there she is. Now has Hayley Batten in her sights, currently 17th place. for the rider in the Trek on broken colours behind Hayley Battle, Specialised Factory Racing.
Look at that progression, to move from 54th up to 20th halfway through the race.
Well, yeah, Josh is saying that apparently she's doing a lot of damage on the descents, which is something that in the under-23 season last year, it was all about climbing and power for Holmgren. So she's obviously added descending to that skill set as well.
And this is only her second mountain bike race, not just first World Cup this year. She raced back in Spain early in the season, but no World Cup since.
Unbelievable. One of the multi-format talents. Almost too talented, Isabella Holmgren, if there is such a thing. There's Lyra Steger. Steger in 13th place. There's Holmgren.
Holmgren just rolling past the rider of the calibre of Hayley Batten, and she's going to roll up in at this speed. She'll be up in the top 10.
Yeah, I'd love to get a shot of Holmgren on the descents, actually. Have a look at her, see how she's, as I say, added that to her skill set, really. As they head out into the field section. Sevilla Blanc leads the way here, 18.2 kilometres an hour. Out of the woods, and Alessandra Keller still looking comfortable out there, Ollie.
Yeah, throwing it into that corner on the outside, but this is completely off camber as they drop down, and they're just trying to catch this tiny edge. It's the smallest of edges here.
Brilliant fun to ride, but the crash you have if you get it wrong is like a light aircraft's come down. Keller, you can see how fast she rocketed around that right-hander. Really, really nicely done.
And using all the track right up to the tape and then cuts back in.
Sevilla Blanc then for the Decathlon Ford. Leads the way, the US national champion. Right, Risfitz, Keller behind her.
As we finish this fourth lap of 7, if you would have asked me before, I would not have bet on having 4 riders at the front group. This course is so physical. The more physical the course, you end up getting the riders more likely to split apart. It just shows the strength in depth. 4 racers head-to-head at the end of this fourth lap.
Samara Maxwell in 7th place ahead of Puck Peterson. Oh, Keller fumbles the bottle. And Sina Fry is back at the front now and starting to stretch things out. Risvids in 3rd, being distanced by Fry and Blanc. These two still battling.
Yeah, and it's Maxwell, I think, got the better legs, and it's Peterson who's hanging on now. Yeah, look at Maxwell. Where you see the riders, it's the accelerations, it's the false flats over the top.
That's Kohler and Berta crossing the line in the inset shot there. But look at Maxwell.
Yeah.
The cadence up here. Flying up the climb. Gets the seat down nice and early, gets herself set. Off the rocks.
And that gap at the front, 1:15 now. From Maxwell back to Sina Fry.
Through the big man-made rock section before the start-finish line. Maxwell comes in to tech feed. Peterson stays out. Takes a cooling dump bottle.
Yeah, good riding by Maxwell. Comes in, like I say, gets carb drink first and then the dump bottle. And it's interesting to see Puck Peter didn't come in, didn't go for the cooling bottle, and he's wearing that aero helmet as well.
Alessandra Keller here misses 1. Then 2.
And it sounds like such a small thing. However, it is not a small thing.
Tell you what.
Absolutely massive. When it's a hot day like today, these riders will know, they'll measure their carbohydrate, they know they need the bottles, and they need it for cooling.
After the downhill after party last night, there weren't too many drinks getting dropped or wasted in there. Risvids is currently in 3rd place, is starting to grimace now, looking a little less comfortable.
We talk about it in these races, you're right on the edge of cracking the whole race, whether it's your core body temperature, the lactate in your legs, mentally. But when you do something like that and you miss your bottles, there's instant like dip in morale.
Yeah.
And then that translates to slightly less power, and then it all starts to go wrong.
Sina Fry in the European Continental Champs colours for Specialised Racing leads them up into the boulders at the top of the first long, arduous climb.
And just as you crest the top here, the riders, they're just looking, they're so happy to get a little bit of shade and a little bit of a softening in the gradient.
I mean, I'll pick you up on that. I've seen people look happier, but I know what you mean. But Ollie, for your eyes, out of these four, I mean, we're on lap 5 out of 7 now. They've stayed together pretty much the whole race. Who's looking the strongest?
I think Sevilla Blanc's doing a really smart race at the moment. Yeah. She's not wasting any energy, she's letting Sina Fry set the tempo. Rizved's is very concerned about Sina Fry. When Sina Fry attacks, Rizved's ears prick up and she tries to follow. So I think that's what Rizved's is scared about, is Sina Fry. But I think Blanc just flying under the radar a little bit at the moment.
Fry, it's one of the things that you feel that she's really become adept at, Ollie, with this newfound confidence, is that she's happy to lead a race.
And on a circuit like this, there's not a lot of drafting. You're either going uphill or going downhill tech, and this there, just over the top.
Yeah, look.
Just slams down a gear, bit of an acceleration, thwarts the other riders. See, Rizved's now needs to respond. And Sina Fry, out of this group, I think the fastest on the descent. So if she gets a little bit of a gap here, it's going to be a struggle.
Alessandra Keller just distanced by 8 seconds now. She was right with the group. There's Isabella Holmgren. Holmgren currently in 16th now. Correction, in 15th, having just made a pass, so. Trek unbroken. Start, rides her little trek on the road. One of the biggest talents, young talents in world cycling.
Yeah, one of the fastest climbers, I'd say 8th in the Tour de France Femme overall. Just unbelievable talent. Mountain bike cycler across all road.
Yeah, I remind you, this is her first elite level UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup. She's been on the road for the rest of the season, and first time we're seeing her in with the big names, and she's motored her way through the traffic and is heading towards the top 10.
Yeah, dominant under 23. Mountain bike all road.
Yeah, one of the signatures I think a lot of teams would like to have.
And again, I think it's that mountain bike cross background really helps develop that road skill as well. You've got to learn the bunch craft, but the actual skill on the descents as well, which is a key part of road racing.
Look at Fry down through here. I mean, Blanc's matching her, but Fry has a bit of extra speed. Let's watch Alessandra Keller now rejoin this group, having taken the B line. Look, there she is. And she gets a nice wider run round that turn and nearly goes round the outside of Jenny Rissva. Just has to give best.
So Keller was 8 seconds down at the top of this climb. She's pulled back that 8 seconds just in that one descent.
It works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's that speed you carry through the left-hander. It's just slightly wider, and you saw just fought better off trying to outmuscle Jenny Rissva's round the outside.
But fast descending, but smart riding as well. Good combo for Alessandra Keller.
Here we go, watch this.
Yeah, and that inside line, we see Jenny Rissved's really rooty and rough. Keller just swings straight through.
Oh, Keller nearly had the line there, but Rissved's wise to it. Clever bike riding from both of them, avoid coming together.
Like I said, is the rider who's in front as you come up to the corner, they've got the line.
You're right, that one line from Alessandra Keller has put her back in play.
Back into the group, just on one descent. No physical effort, no power required. Just tech skills and a bit of smarts.
It's such a crazy format cross-country racing, isn't it? You know, there's one little difference of line choice can make all the difference across a whole lap. And Sina Fry currently leading them back up this climb.
Yeah, Sevilla Blanc glued to the back wheel of Sina Fry.
When are we going to start seeing the attacks come? Is anybody going to try a long-range effort, do you think?
I think penultimate lap, you're going to see somebody just putting a test in, just trying to get away. I think a lot of riders, if you're feeling good, you don't want to leave it to a last lap.
She says, well, we haven't seen much for today, but Evie Richards up into 10th place for Trek Unbroken, behind her teammate Gwen Gibson in 9th. 168 beats per minute for the Whoop Live, but look at the strain for Sina Fry. 15.8, that number goes up to 21.
But well paced by Sina Fry, and we saw that first lap. She just dropped back a little bit, realised that the pace of Jenny Rissva was too hot, and decided to just do her own thing, and it's paying off at the moment.
169, 170 beats per minute for the Specialized star who leads this race. Round 7 of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup.
Yeah, and you say Evie Richards up to 10th position now. Remember, she missed a short track on Friday with illness, so she was lucky to make the start here. So if she can roll the top 10 after illness, it's a good result and bodes well as also recovering for next week's World Championships.
Yep. Val di Sole Trentino beckons next weekend for the UCI World Champs. For now, though, it's the European champ, Sina Fry, leading the US national champ, leading the UCI cross-country world champion. And this looks like an attack now from Sina Fry, piling on the pressure to the group behind her. Risford's not looking comfortable. It's distanced Keller yet again.
Yeah, Sina Fry, the tempo and the pace she's been putting into the false flats over the top of the climb. Look at this one here. You do the steepest climb into this false flat, and she's absolutely hammering it.
Look at the fans at the top of the climb as well. 4 or 5 deep. Huge crowd here today in Leger.
Great circuit in the fact that almost the 2 climbs and descents are almost side by side, and this top section, it shares both laps. But Risved's back on the wheel now.
There you go. Alessandra Keller's lost a total of 20 seconds across the race on that climb, and for a seasoned lap time observer such as yourself, Ollie Beckinsale, you can't give away that much time. Maxwell having a little bit of an issue here. We're about to see.
Yeah, just gets the wrong side of that big root.
Yeah, just gets the wrong side of the knuckle on it and manages to just dab a foot and get it turned, though. Good skills.
Yeah, Peters and Maxwell fighting it out.
This is this could have been worth a watch all race long by itself, couldn't it? These two banging bars again. As you say, a lot of respect between the two of them, but the best of rivals.
7th and 8th position now. Maxwell on the front, back on the climb.
Maxwell having a good go now up the top of this climb, but look at Puck Peterson.
And Greg Gibson on the Trek Unbroken background as well, doing a really good ride.
Yeah, track riders are having a good race. 9th and 10th for Gibson and Richard, respectively, at the minute. Holmgren's in 14th now. If they can all get inside the top 10, it'll be a good day out. There's Lyra Steger. Steger, the Austrian, not having one of her better races. Currently 12th. Still nothing to sneeze at. She's with Ginia Kalurian, who's in 13th as the leaders rocket back down through the route section.
Yeah, super fast. There's a big berm on the right side of that rock, but the riders, and you see Keller, the speed she was clattering through that.
Yeah, not scared.
Yeah, that whole section through there, the riders, it's designed you can almost flow through and use the berms, but they're all just clattering straight through the middle, full straight line.
Sina Fry, look at the big pull there from Sevilla Blanc, and that gap is going out now. Jenny Risvid's just being distanced by the 2 leaders. We saw Sevilla Blanc take flight there and really move herself over to the right-hand side, the rider's right-hand side, to make the track as wide as she could. They're back together again now, the 3 of them at the front.
And Keller again, she had a huge gap at the top, but on that one descent,
she seems to suffer a bit.
Yeah, but almost back on the wheels again. Yeah, you see the speed difference.
Oh. Dive bombing down through that right-hander, Alessandra Keller.
Look at that.
Yeah, fantastic to watch. Love to see it.
Again, that was a 12-second gap on one descent.
How can you be in Leger and not love an off-camber grassy turn? That is what it's all about. Hold it wide and let it slide.
But there we go, look at the speed, pull back 6 seconds on one downhill.
Yeah, 14 seconds. So just as we were saying, she can't give away 20 seconds on one climb. And here we go, Ollie. Look at the suspension on these bikes working. And it's really changed night and day, hasn't it, in the last even 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, all these riders, everyone's on full suspension bikes. They're all using, most of the riders on 120 mil of travel, and you see the circuit, they need every mil of that travel.
Yeah, look at it, using literally, as you say, every millimetre. And the bikes now with these RockShox flight attendant systems, those teams that are supported by RockShox, the bike actually makes the decision for itself which of the 3 modes it's going to be in. That blows my mind.
Yeah, so historically you've got the lockouts, which are controlling the suspension, so you can turn it on or off for the climbs. That flight attendant system electronically is switching between those modes. Saves the rider having to do it themselves more efficient. We saw Martin Vidare with a track test in the week. He talked you through his suspension as well. He's just trying to adapt it to try and keep it supple.
I mean, you're talking about something that a rider would do manually 300 times a race. The bike now does itself 1,400 times per race.
Yeah, Nino, race bikes, you were saying about that one.
That's a lovely little setup for a race bikes plug. Thanks very much. Yeah, race bikes. the series where we look at the world's fastest racing machines, and Nino Schurter telling us that one of the sorest parts of his body after a World Cup race was his left-hand thumb from toggling the lockout and the suspension so much. Now, the bike makes 1,400 decisions a race for him. There are a lot of different systems out there, but the RockShox flight attendant used by a lot of the top teams, and such an advantage really over somewhere where you're having to manually adjust the suspension yourself over the course of a race.
You just see the tech, and I think the suspension tech and the wheel tech is two of the biggest ones at the moment as riders push on, and you see this acceleration as people are starting to think about, well, dare I say it, Olympics in 2 years' time. Oh, no. I said it. I said the old word. I said it, and I said you shouldn't. But there's a really big arms race at the moment. I think suspension's a big part of that.
Yeah, because the time that can be made, we just saw the graphic. Alessandra Keller having taken back 16 seconds alone on the descents. Suspension, it's not just about how much suspension travel it's the quality of it as well. They want it to be supple over the chattery stuff and then to ramp up and give them support when they hit the big holes, they hit the fast descents.
Yeah, we saw
Dark Art
Badari in the week saying about he has his suspension regularly service more than normal, just to try and keep it so supple at the top of the suspension, and then he has it ramped up. So when you're doing those big drops and the big routes, it doesn't blow through the travel.
You can vote for the best XC rider off the round, powered by Gobic on the QR code. Let us know who you think has had the best weekend here in Ligier. I mean, these four at the front of the list race are having the time of it at the minute. Fry, Blunk, Keller, Risvids, Nicole Kohler's in fifth. Here comes Sina Fry though, past Sevilla Blunk. Blunk slow to react to it. Jenny Risvids had a better view of it and now tried to move past Blunk herself. Keller swinging a bit, trying to respond.
And that was a big attack by Sina Fry, and it was on that steepest section just going into the woods.
Risvids looking like she's got past Blunk. I wondered there just for a second if she was struggling to match the pace of Sina Fry, but Risvids is locked back in now on the back wheel of that Specialized in front of her.
You saw the tactics of Sina Fry. She just laid back a little bit, let Blunk set the tempo, and then wallop. Massive attack.
Wallop indeed. Sina Fry cracking on now on lap 6 out of 7 and pushing an almighty tempo up there. And here it is again, Ollie, talk us through it.
Yeah, straight up the outside. Big attack. Peak of power just going into the false flat over the top.
And I tell you as well, mentally, passing two riders, not one.
Yeah, that was something else.
Statement from that woman on your screen now, the newly crowned European Continental Champion, Sina Fry.
But you saw, as soon as Sina Fry attacked, Jenny Risvids was, boom, straight on it.
Yeah. Yeah, Blunk was slightly slow to react to it, sort of mugged her a little bit. But look at the gap now. 2 seconds on our clocks here in the booth.
Yeah, Blunk just swinging a little bit now, but just needs to set into a tempo, use the descent to try and recover a little bit. Easier said than done as you come into these rocks, and that's why this section's so difficult. It comes straight after the climb. And although it's not crazy technical, you're doing it when you're at zone 5.
12 seconds a gap to Alessandra Keller in 4th place. Now Keller finding this acceleration from her compatriot Sina Fry, hard to match at the front.
Right, watch Keller's descending now. Can she pull back 12 seconds? Can she get back to this group?
Risvids throwing the kitchen sink at this one to try and keep Sina Fry in touch here. Fry fancies a crack at the double here in Ligier.
But yeah, Risvids has got this attack from Sina Fry covered at the moment.
Fry did the double at round 1 in Mona Park, Yongpyong, South Korea. Can she get her second double of the season here in Ligier? Through the doubles.
And Blunk is recovering. She's got back on the wheel now.
Yeah. Top 3 starting to look more secure, but what order are they going to finish in? All to play for in lap 6 out of 7 here at the 7th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Ligier in the Haute-Savoie.
Good descending there by Sevilla Blunk. Pulled that gap back. Sina Fry, the speed she carries into that drop.
Yeah, Blunk on that rock rider, using, as we saw, every millimetre of that RockShox flight attendant suspension. through the roots. Bike soaking it up beautifully. Through the Monster Energy arch. And then there's this left-hander before they head back out onto the grass. What's left of the grass. It is getting very, very hot out there. Temperatures continuing to rise.
Yeah, Matt, you see there, Alessandra Keller in the red just off the back. There's a pretty big gap at the top 12 seconds, but she's managed to close a pretty big chunk of that back. But I think now, because she hasn't got back on the wheel into that group, I think we'll see that gap explode now.
Yeah, we heard Jenny Risfids talk to our very own Emma Stewart earlier in the weekend about her big focus is on retaining the UCI World Champs jersey next weekend, and needs to stay safe this weekend and not get in any unnecessary dust-ups. But Risford's currently in second place and looking good, Ollie.
Yeah, 100%. But it's these two big weekends. Leger, arguably the biggest World Cup of the season, then followed by the one-day World Championships. And that will be live on HBO and TNT Sports.
Yep, well indeed. We'll be there, taking you through that one. Sevilla Blanc has marked this back really nicely, and Keller not giving up on it either. There is Samara Maxwell, currently in 7th place, taking a slightly different line.
Yeah, and just dropped Puck Peterson now.
And you see, just foot out round that lumpy route again.
Yeah, Sina Fry, I think that big attack, she's backed it off a little bit now. Over the top, we might see another one. Sina Fry has been very strong in that false flat over the top every time she's attacked to leave into the woods. In a sec, we've got two of the steepest climbs, or two of the steepest hairpins on the course. I think she might have another go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Sina Fry hits the gas at the top of this climb, but Risfids and Blanc, this is getting tentative now. Blanc with a tongue out. Breathing heavily.
We go up these steep sections now. In that big false flat, and you see Sina Fry just winding things up.
Oh, Blanc accelerates now. Sevilla Blanc using a slightly different line and takes, does she? Yes, she just takes the lead of the race away from Sina Fry and forces the Swiss rider to respond.
I was just thinking Sevilla Blanc was going to be dropped soon, and just as I was thinking that, she attacks off the front.
Sevilla Blanc on lap 6 out of 7, accelerates across the false flat, and here comes Sina Fry now up out of the saddle, takes a lead right back off her again. Big psychological win for Fry.
And that was two big punches, one from Blanc, one from Fry, and Risfeds now is on the back foot. She needs to get back on the wheel.
Risfeds, really, Ollie, we've seen Sina Fry be aggressive, we've seen Sevilla Blanc be aggressive, but Risfeds has really just been monitoring, hasn't she? She's been holding station.
But really smart riding by Jenny Risfeds, just yo-yoing off the back, not wasting any energy.
Fry, though, back in the lead as they head into the trees.
Then again, two lines on this one. You can go right round the outside. Seen Risfeds a couple of times going up the inside, maybe saving that one for a last lap attack.
Yeah, there are lines all around this track that can just open something up for you, make something happen.
And again, this line round here, you drop down really rooty all the way up.
This little climb's horrible, so hard to get the power down.
And you see Sina Fry just getting a gap, that more direct line, whereas Blanc just forced to.
She's so good at just moving her weight forward on the bike and still getting the back wheel to hook up Fry. Really smooth.
Yeah, and this whole section is about maintaining momentum and keeping smooth, just trying to recover. And you see Sina Fry doing a fantastic job of that.
We drop in with a live drone through the trees. You see the dappled light. Bone dry out there, as you'd expect. Not much grip on the roots.
And this is a nice section for the racers now. Opens up, got some nice jumps, and a bit less technical than up in the woods, and it allows the riders just to recover a little bit.
Risfeds knocks the saddle down. These two still.
A race within a race.
Yeah, in a really big dust-up.
Yeah, 7th and 8th position at the moment.
Puck Peterson moves past Samara Maxwell again now. Meanwhile, at the front, for the penultimate time, 3 riders.
But Risfeds coming out of the woods there has got that inside line. That definitely is faster.
Yep, looks like it.
It's more direct, and it just carries a little bit of speed into the berms.
None of the three of them taking on that big gap jump over to the left-hand side. Fry, Blanc, Rissveds, Keller, Kohler, your top five. Nicole Kohler riding a superb race. Martina Berta some distance behind them, so that looks like the top five. The big question is going to be what order these three finish in. It's been an absolutely fascinating race.
I'd say three riders in Leger going into the last lap.
That's what you want, isn't it? We said
100%.
this one was going to be good, and we weren't messing.
Yeah, it's a proper scrap, this one. I think for now, the riders will just have a little lull. They'll go through the feed, take the last bottle. And then I think on that first climb, we're going to see a really big pack. And I think it's going to be Sina Fry who goes first.
You know, shades of the elite men's race from last year, whenever it really boiled down to a horsepower packed group heading on to that group. And speaking of horsepower, Alessandra Keller never knows when she's beaten. This is why the fans love her. Little look over the shoulder from Blanc, and here comes Sina Fry now applying a bit more pressure just as she saw Alessandra Keller getting back on towards the back of Jenny Rissveds as they head back down towards the start-finish line through this rock section.
Yeah, the penultimate time through this rock section. Riders need to be careful when they get fatigued. This big drop down.
Nicely done through there from the top three. Keller, route one, works nicely.
And Keller just rolling back onto that group.
And here we go, it's all to play for in Leger. Just like that, it's the final lap. Pick a winner out of these four. Here we go.
All right, place your bets now. Who's going to go first on this climb?
It is anyone's guess. Fry versus Blanc versus Rissveds. Keller's right back on the back wheel of the world champion. Alessandra Keller, give up on a race, not on your life.
Just closing a casual 12-second deficit on one downhill.
The Thomas Maxon star in fourth in the red. Keep an eye on her. Behind them, it's Berta, Maxwell, Peterson, but Fry is now ratcheting up the pace in the front and is distancing Keller. This is hurting the rider in fourth.
And this first half of the climb, it's just relentless steep gradient the whole way up to the grass.
That man's heard a few bells in his time. Peter Sagan ringing the bell here to bring the riders on to the final lap. Like yourself, Ollie, I think he can enjoy watching these things now.
He's definitely relaxed now, for sure.
Fry, Blanc, Rissveds at the front. Keller continues to yo-yo off the back of this group. Can she be the fly in the ointment, the joker in the pack? Martina Berta takes the bell from Peter Sagan.
Yeah, Rissved's just going for that inside line. Smart choice there. I think it's just a little bit smoother as you get closer to the grass.
Yeah, through the chunky gravel, Rissved's up into second place now. But we know that Fry has done so much damage all race long at the top of this climb.
Yeah, Sevilla Blanc just rolling over the handlebars a bit. The shoulders are starting to dip. Sina Fry just out the saddle.
Look how hard they're pushing on the last lap here. Fastest rider per lap, Rissveds, Fry, Keller, Maxwell. Maxwell currently in 7th position, 1 minute 25 off the lead of the race. 20 seconds or so behind Martina Berta in 6th. It's going to be Fry. He leads him up the first part of the climb. Gwen Gibson.
9th position for Trek Unbroken. Top 10 for Gwen.
Here we go. At the front, Blanc now being distanced by Fry and Rissved. Sevilla Blanc in trouble here for Decathlon Ford. Needs to steady the ship as they head up into the rocks at the top of the climb for the last time. And just as it's been all season long, it's turning into Fry versus Rissved in front of our very eyes.
This is some scrap, and you can see the early pace taking its toll on both these riders. Not a lot left in the tank at the moment.
Sina Fry won the short track on Friday evening, can do the double here. Jenny Rissveds did the double here last season, the rider in second place at the minute. There's the US national champion, looking for her first cross-country Olympic UCI World Cup win. Sevilla Blanc as we move towards the top of this climb, and there is a false flat just where that timing marker is. Top of your shot now, where Fry has been so strong all race long.
Next section here. Sina Fry, Rissveds has been going to the side, but she goes for that A-line as well. Gets really steep round this corner. So we saw Luca Martin in his race-winning move last year in the men's race. You see Sina Fry now accelerating.
Fry accelerates up towards the top of the climb. Rissvids goes with her. Blunk being asked some big questions here by the Swiss and Swedish riders in front of her. For the last time then, Fry up the top of the climb. This is going to come right down to who's going to blink first, isn't it?
Rissvids took it out strong, but since then, from laps 2 to now, it's been Sina Fry who's been setting the tempo. Rissvids has been shadowing her the whole race. Whenever Fry's moved, Rissvids has gone with it.
Different line from Rissvids round there. Gets a nice run out of it, but she has lost a couple of bike lengths on Sina Fry for a couple of seconds. 160 beats per minute, 17.3 on the Whoop live strain skill of Sina Fry. Perfectly timed, Ollie. She's got 21 in the bank.
Merde, j'ai pas vu que j'avais changé de scène. Désolé.
Just attacks going up into that top. This dual line section.
Je viens quand c'est fini.
The section round, but takes a little bit of bike length out. Goes a bit neater on the inside.
All things being equal, what position do you want to be in at this stage of the final lap?
I think you want to be leading and putting the pressure on. There's no real slipstreaming here. You want to have the sight of the track, especially coming down to these route sections.
As they come down through the jumps, there's Sevilla, Blunk behind them. Blunk currently 6 seconds off the lead of the race, so still in it. Rissvids goes for the inside line. Fry goes wider.
And I think when you come down into these routes, it's not technical for them to ride it, but it's technical in the last lap when the fatigue is kicking in. You're more likely to make a mistake.
Yeah, Rissvids could well be trying to boost it, I reckon. Sevilla Blunk down off the drop.
Just trying to hook up on that inside route, and the arms are getting fatigued.
Meanwhile, there's on a Terpstra, Yolanda Neff mixing it. Terpstra taking the total of wheels for her last World Cup. Peter Sagan rings the bell.
Fry and Rissvids still together. Blunk's not done yet, though.
No,
good
Blunk.
descent there. She's just on the back. You see Fry looks over her shoulder.
Blunk not far off striking range in third place at the minute. Fry with the blue board. Rissvids with the red of the overall points leader. These two locked together at the front of that. They won't be thinking about that at the minute. This is all about who's going to take this race win in Ligier.
This climb, like I said, goes up in steps, slightly different to climb 1. And it's interesting to see if you're going to go, you've got to go into those hairpins and then just slam it through the gears at the top and keep the pressure on.
Fry still in the lead. Rissvids second. Blunk in third. Keller looking like her race is run now in fourth for Thomas Maxson. A bridge too far.
Sina Fry's just backing off a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, I saw just a little sort of correction there from Jenny Rissvids at the top. There's Sevilla Blunk. Drone giving us a great idea of the gap as it stands on track. These two.
So we come across the whoops now, then it's a really steep, big bermed corner. That's where you want to have a big attack if you've got the legs.
Blunk not done yet by the look of it. 5 seconds. Samara Maxwell is up into 6th place, by the way. She's caught and passed Martina Berta, but this is the battle for the lead of the race. Sina Fry stands and accelerates up to the top of the climb. Rissvids.
Yeah, Mike Postma said, a performance coach on the outside, just cheering Sina Fry on, saying, go, 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 you've got to get into that descent first.
Jenny Rissvids, I just thought she was going to try one on the right-hand side there.
Jenny Rissvids. Sina Fry did put a burst in on that corner, but Jenny Rissvids had it covered. And you see Sina Fry now attacking on this false flat on the climb. She's been strong here all race.
Sina Fry has absolutely had this section of the track on lock all race long. Can Jenny Rissvids move past her now? Rissvids stands on the gas. Fry moves across. You're not coming past.
There's 2 lines then, when we turn the corner and it's this really steep climb as we go into the woods for the last time.
Blunk looks like she could be done here, Ollie.
Yeah, that's right. She's going to be focusing on riding, holding off Keller to keep 3rd position now.
2 podiums in 1 weekend on the cards for Sevilla Blunk. Not a bad result whatsoever. But meanwhile, at the front, Rissvids looks to be attacking. Has she gone past?
No,
Sina Fry's attacked. Excuse me, it's Fry who's put the hurt. on Jenny Risford. She was out of that shot completely. 8 seconds Blanc has given away to Risford and Fry on that climb.
They both fought for that corner. Sina Fry got the gap, and then it was on the last steep climb going to the woods. Big attack by Sina Fry.
I just saw the world
managed
champion
to break the elastic.
I just saw the world champion all alone and thought that she had attacked, but it's actually Sina Fry who's escaped up the road.
And Fry has been strong throughout this whole section. You see super direct over the routes. Powerful and technically good.
And Fry now desperate to get into this descent first and to continue to capitalise on this attack. Keep the ball rolling, keep that bike moving forward.
Yeah, 3 seconds that gap, but that's extending. Look, Jenny Risford's just bouncing through the rocks a bit.
Risford, I'm not sure if she has this covered off, Ollie. I think this may well be a potentially race-winning move from Sina Fry, but we know that anything can happen here in cross-country mountain biking.
No, but Sina Fry, that gap is going out. Where she's been so strong all race is in the tech sections, but those false flats right on the gas straight away.
Sina Fry for Specialized Factory Racing. Heading down through the jump line. The gap's currently 4 seconds to that woman, the UCI cross-country world champion. Super fast through there from Jenny Risford. Maximum commitment, hasn't given up on this one yet. But look at the pace of Fry down through the routes for the last time.
Yeah, that last route section, that's a really important one to clean. Sina Fry's done it, and now she's into the 4 cross section.
There's a visual on the gap. Jenny Risford needs to find an answer to the problem that is Sina Fry quite quickly here. Lap 7 out of 7 at the 7th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup here in Ligier.
Sina Fry has cleared all the main technical sections, but we know how slippery those grass corners can be, especially at this stage.
Sevilla Blanc, I can tell you, is 17 seconds now off the front. Blanc headed towards third, but where is the winner going to come from? Sina Fry off the drop for the last time. Down through the grassy turns, needs to hold it steady round here. Grabs the pedal stroke, 17.6 on the Whoop Live strain scale, 168 beats per minute. What an effort from Sina Fry as she heads back up through the grassy turns.
She's got 2 short climbs, and then we're into the rock gardens.
It's still saying 4 seconds on our clock in the booth, but you can see Fry standing on the gas now, getting it absolutely everything. Jenny Risford hasn't given up on this one yet. Fry, mouth open, throwing absolutely everything into the handlebars of that Specialized Epic 9. Meanwhile, it's the canyon of Jenny Risford, who's tracking her down behind her. Can Risford close the gap?
It's not done yet, but at the moment, Sina Fry is on her way to doing the double here in Ligier.
Sina Fry down through the rocks for the last time. The crowd 4 or 5 deep the whole way around here. Absolutely loving this one, as well they should. It's a tour de force in France for Sina Fry, who takes her second double cross-country UCI World Cup win of 2026 in some style. Jenny Risford's home in second place.
What a fantastic race.
That was absolutely superb stuff. Came down to 2 seconds in the end. One of the closest finishes we've had this season. Sina Fry gets the win right when it mattered. Take nothing away from this woman on your screen now. Sevilla Blanc, 2 podiums for her this weekend as well. Blanc, 3rd place in Ligier. Jenny Risford finds a bit of shade.
In that last lap, the pace is electric. Only so fast, an 11:20 lap.
The 31st win for Specialized.
Let's go!
Cross-country racing. Blanc.
C'est win!
It's Sina Fry and Ollie.
Nice!
It wasn't that
T'as la bagarre de fou!
It felt like Jenny Risford was on the march in this
Incroyable.
World Cup overall, and Sina Fry has just righted the ship, hasn't she? And now that is a statement pair of wins for her as we get Alessandra Keller over the line in 4th. The wind is fairly at Sina Fry's back now.
4e place pour Keller.
Race is huge. That's a huge win for
Incroyable.
for the overall.
Et du coup, il n'y a personne qui a trouvé, je crois. Hein. Personne n'a bien pronostiqué, c'est ça?
Next week. And again, she won that European Championships in some style. So what a season.
Personne n'a voté Fry. Bravo, hein, bravo à vous. Je rends les points.
Great result
Je vais préparer les pronostics pour les mecs. Et vu qu'on était un peu en retard, je vais avancer un peu le live. Mais pour l'instant, je prépare les pronostics. Et puis, je vous dis quand j'avance le live. Ça marche? J'arrive.
Puck Peterson battled Maxwell for so much of it. Peterson having to settle for 8th today. There's your winner with Mike Posthumus.
For that whole front four, fantastic race, right down to the wire. Some strengths and weaknesses. We saw Alessandra Keller descending, pulling gap. Eventually the elastic broke.
It was a great race from Jenny Rissvez, though. She threw everything at that, rode it brilliantly. It's just like Fry has that extra kick now, and that confidence to deploy it.
And happy to, you can see the confidence and form Sina Fry has, confidence and form, that she's happy to take the race on and push the pace. She won the race, but she won it in an aggressive way.
She doesn't mind having her nose in the wind either, and taking her turn at the front.
And it is a similar circuit in Val de Soleil next weekend.
It's not too different, is it? Gwen Gibson, great result for her. Home in 9th place, Gibson.
Right.
For Trek Unbroken. I can tell you, her teammate Isabella Holmgren is going to get home in 11th. Her debut elite UCI cross-country Olympic distance
From 55th
World Cup.
on the grid.
55th. Busy day in the bypass.
Voilà. J'ai préparé les pronostics pour les mecs. Ça vous dérange pas si j'avance un peu jusqu'à la course des mecs? Maxwell qui nous a fait une performance de fou, hein, qui est revenu après un petit moment d'absence. Oui, parce qu'on est un peu en retard. Un petit peu. Du coup, j'avance, hein. Il n'y a pas d'objection. J'y vais. On est à 1,43 si jamais.
Yeah.
Ok. Un petit champagne. Voilà, je vous laisse le podium. Et après, je vais à la course des mecs. Excusez-moi, c'est parce qu'on est un peu en retard. Comme ça, on rattrape le retard un peu. Pas que le stream il coupe tout d'un coup.
For Specialized Factory Racing, Swiss Star, freshly crowned European champion last weekend, double UCI World Cup winner this weekend.
Un petit coup de champagne, puis on y va.
UCI World Championships, just a few days away. Short track on Thursday. Degrees Celsius.
Ah bah parfait. Voilà, tout ça je vous laisse depuis là. Je vais vous mettre des pronostics. Merde, c'était écrit quand ça que ça partait? Ok, je pense qu'il y a un petit trailer et je lance les pronostics après le trailer. Ça vous va? Ah, ils sont en train de s'échauffer là. Ah, dans 11 minutes, ok. Ah, on a le temps. J'avance ou on regarde le trailer? Non, vous voulez voir le trailer, je pense. Allez, je vous le laisse.
Luca Martin takes his second ever World Cup win. Take about Adrian Blacksheep.
The battle with Luca and Matisse is super special because I know them for a long time. It's kind of like, oh, imagine if we grew up to be in the World Cup and then to win the World Cup together at the top is something quite rare and quite amazing. I don't think many countries can say this.
It's cool to see the French in front and we know perfectly each other. Joya and Matisse, we ride when we are very young. Last year for me the World Cup right on the front with Blavins, like a big name, Nino Schurter, it was like, oh, so exciting. And now we're riding with Adrien and Mathis is more relaxed.
It's quite insane, like to race with Adrien and Luca every weekend, and it's also like we are quite far in the front, and fighting with them, racing with them, it's something special. Really looking forward to do it in front of the French crowd.
Adrien Boissy, victorious in France!
I'm super happy to cheer the race all the time with Adrien because we are born in the same city, we were in the same club, we are still in the same club, riding the Wednesday together. So yeah, it's super cool for me to share that moment with him, and yeah, can't wait to do it again.
He's quite a bit older than me, maybe 3-4 years, so at first I was a bit of a fan, and then when I get to ride with them I was suffering, and then I was just trying to hold on. I mean, I've been dreaming about racing with him and being in his wheel, or if he attacks me, how would he feel, like to just see this huge amount of power going, and yeah, it's quite special.
And Luca was a bit later, I think we were U23, but yeah, sharing sometimes the room with the French team, and yeah, always also watching the race of Luca, so it was back in 2020 or something like this. Now to be leading the race, the all three together, I mean, it's super cool.
It's cool, honestly. I'm very happy to leading the World Cup here in Léger, but I don't feel so much the pressure. For me, it's quite normal. It's just the number one on the bike. I just enjoy that.
We have 3 more World Cup, and yeah, it's still possible. So I will do everything.
As they all
Incroyable le trailer. Ok. Est-ce qu'ils vont nous remettre un petit temps là? Il nous reste quoi, 5 minutes? Histoire que je puisse mettre la prédiction.
Mathieu Van Der Poel is going to be in amongst it.
J'ai remplacé Flukiger par Mathieu Van Der Poel dans les prédictions parce qu'il sortait juste à la 11e place, Van Der Poel. Du coup, je me suis dit qu'il y a certaines personnes qui voudraient voter pour lui. Et Flukiger, je le trouve pas bon cette année, donc je l'ai viré. Donc voilà.
How are you feeling after an amazing result on Friday? Has it been able to sink in?
Oh, it was really good, but I'm super relaxed right now because I know I'm in good shape, and now I just try to absorb all the energy here from the crowd and try to enjoy it from the front row.
Can you give us a little bit of a tactics and what we're going to see from you today?
For sure, a good start is important. I mean, the downhills are stretching the field quite a lot here, so I try to be in the front directly from the beginning, and then sure, I mean, it's a super physical course, so I try not to be over my limit too far in the race, and yeah, try to save some energy for the final. We will see if it works.
Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Il a failli se planter.
Very badly wrong. Emma and David though, total pros.
Petit Lars Forster là. Il n'y a pas 32 pouces au jet pour l'instant. Je crois pas que j'ai vu en tout cas.
Well, let's hear from the boss. He's back with us. Here is Alpecin Premier Tech's Mathieu Van Der Poel.
Un petit interview de Mathieu. Peut-être? Non?
Mathieu, it was the first time on Friday that you'd ridden a short track in a while. How did it feel?
Yeah, it hurt. I knew from the past, of course, that it's always hard, but it was quite a shock to the system, but hopefully it helps me for next week.
How do you deal with that transition of going from the road to the mountain bike?
Yeah, it's never really easy, of course. It's a completely different effort, but I enjoy trying to make the switch. It's always a challenge for me, so hopefully today already slightly better.
And speaking of completely different effort, obviously Friday and compared to today is very different. What are your expectations for today?
I just hope I can have a smooth race, do my effort for the whole race, and then hopefully have my best legs next week.
We look forward to seeing it. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Mathieu Van Der Poel warming up
crois qu'il n'est pas en très bonne forme, Mathieu. Et vendredi, il avait dit que la course lui a fait très mal. Il a failli se planter dans les cailloux et tout. Donc on verra si ça se passe, hein, cette course. Mais il aimerait bien gagner une Coupe du Monde de l'UCI. Je crois qu'il a juste pas cette victoire-là. Je crois que parce qu'il a un peu tout gagné, je crois qu'il lui manque ça. Du coup, le week-end prochain en Italie, il va essayer de remporter ça. J'ai trouvé où regarder les lives, si jamais pour ceux qui se posaient la question. Le service de télévision suisse diffuse, donc je sais pas la qualité que ça sera. Parce que en général, quand c'est du foot, il y a les moyens, mais quand c'est du vélo, voilà. Donc on va essayer de voir comment ça se passe. Ok, on est bientôt parti là. Accélérer de 10 secondes là, un coup. Ah voilà, c'est bon. Je vais mettre la prédiction au chat. Voilà, 15 minutes, ça devrait aller. Tac. Je vais vous faire une petite démo pour ceux qui n'ont pas compris. Alors, on va changer de cam. Hop. Alors, vous avez ici le chat. Vous pouvez cliquer vite sur le bandeau ou alors en bas à gauche, vous avez les points de chaîne. Vous cliquez dessus et ensuite vous avez une petite banderole qui s'appelle Qui va gagner, Who's Gonna Win. Vous cliquez dessus et ensuite vous avez les 10 premiers de la start list. Bon, j'ai triché parce que j'ai enlevé Flukiger et j'ai mis Vanderpool. Et vous choisissez avec vos points, vous misez. Voilà, c'est une petite compète, c'est complètement gratos, c'est entre nous. Et puis moi, je sais pas qui c'est que je vais voter. Bon, voilà. Si vous avez des questions ou c'est tout bon? Pour Val d'Isol, ouais, je parlais de Val d'Isol. Voilà, les points de chaîne, tout le monde a compris? Qui c'est que je vais voter, moi? Ça va miser Martin, là, je vois. Ah, je savais qu'il y avait des croiveurs en Vanderpool. Moi, je pense que je vais voter la Rockstar. Hop là. Je vais voter la Rockstar. So, for every people who speak English, you can vote your rider, your pref rider, who's gonna win. With the channel point of Twitch, and it's totally free. It's just a competition with the other viewers.
Free Frenchman.
So if you have questions, you can ask. Et puis voilà, donc moi je me repose un peu en mode canapé. Je vous laisse la course tranquille parce que c'est long. Donc je reste actif sur le chat. Si vous avez des questions, des besoin d'infos, je suis éventuellement là pour y répondre. Voilà. Donc bonne course. On se retrouve à la fin. Et puis voilà, merci d'être là. Et puis enjoy. Tac, à toutes.
During that short track race on Friday evening. Here's the winner from last season at this race. Luca Martin. The Mercurial, the explosive talent from Cannondale Factory Racing.
Excuse, oui, je ferai la diffusion Twitch et Discord. Ah yes, Egleton a pu voter, parfait.
But this man got the win in the short track. On Friday evening, in some style, Adrian Boischet heads to the front row for Specialized. Here is confirmation of the start list there. The team staff vacate the grid. The riders are left alone. They're ready to go. I'm not alone, no. I've got Ollie Beckinsale beside me. Ollie, huge race in store.
Leger is always a big one. It's a classic. This is going to be the biggest one yet. We've got the French riders, Boischet, Martin, Azaro. knocking bits off each other all season, and then they're going to get joined by Mathieu van der Poel. And he's on the second row.
The crowd surrounded Van der Poel to one side of the second row where he's gridded. Absolutely huge. There's been people marking that spot all morning long. There he is, second row on the right-hand side in the blue and white jersey. Van der Poel was explosive in the short track from the start. Watch for him to do the same again here. The lights are going to go red, then they'll go out, then we will be racing in Ligier.
Look at the time, man!
As we wait for the lights, there they are when they go out. It is going to be a battle royale in the Haute Savoie. In Ligier, good start from Luca Martin in the centre of your screens. Matisse Azaro though, powering his way towards the bottom of the climb first. Mathieu van der Poel on the right hand side. Look at that sea of riders behind them as they head up the hill for the first time.
Yeah, and we're straight into the course proper, no short lap. Big climb, 2 4-minute climbs, and this is the tough. It's a big winch all the way top wide, and it's Azaro, sorry, who's taking the lead.
Azaro in that French national champions jersey with Martin and Boischy close behind him, as they've been all season long behind him. Avendetto in the Italian national champs jersey. Martin Vidare's up in there as well. Schwarzbauer on the left-hand side of your shot now as well in the German national champs jersey. Yes. Round the outside though.
Schwarzbauer and Aldridge. Aldridge after that flat tyre, just moving up the outside.
Mathieu van der Poel in the centre of your shot now, just moving through the left-hand side in the middle of the pack.
It's really important for these riders. It's wide. For quite a long period of time, you can move up, and then we go into the woods. And if you're not in the front of 10, it's going to be a bit of carnage.
Matisse Azaro on the number 14 bike.
Chris Blevins having a good start, just rolling up the outside in the US Champs top.
Yeah, you can see Mathieu van der Poel in the Alpecin Premier Tech jersey just behind Simone Avendetto. And it's chaos behind him, but let's look just, I think there was a bit of a coming together, in the middle of the pack there. The ripple effect it had. Carnage, as you say, Ollie. And that's how quickly it can go wrong. It's just behind Matisse Gay there. Looked like a rider just got bobbled and unsettled.
Yes, David List as well just gets held up there after that third position in the short track.
Oh, what a great short track.
Right near the front as well.
And there is Van der Poel on the front now. Mathieu van der Poel to the front. He's past Boischy, he's past Azaro, he's past Martin, he's past everyone.
Here we go, coming from that second row grid. Van der Poel, is Azaro coming out the side in that French champ stop?
Azaro says not one bit of it. Absolutely no respecter of reputations. He's got the French national champions jersey on his back in his home round, and he's back in the lead of the race.
Like I say, a big advantage. He used it to his advantage, was allowed to start the short track this year, and he's got his way up to that second row. He said to Josh before he wanted that second row grid, and he's got it.
Yep, said to Emma at the start of the race that he really just wants to get things warmed up nicely for another crack at the UCI Cross Country World Championships next weekend, but rode his way on the front of this race.
Yeah, Luca Martin, Avendetto, Badare, Cole Punchard as well. Good start for him. Heard he's got legs from his manager, Phil Dixon, so he's going to be in the mix.
Yeah, Punchard, we know when he's firing, can be a factor in any race. There's Blevins in the US National Champs jersey on.
Yeah, Blevins having to come from deep back in the grid. 27th on the start line.
Jenny Risford warming down, watching the elite men's race, watching her husband, Simon Andreasen, in action.
And Andreasen in 19th position at the moment, just behind his teammate, ex-teammate Alan Hathaway, and then Blevins in 20th.
Azaro still leading the way from Mathieu van der Poel, from Adrien Boischy, from Luca Martin. Mathieu van der Poel mixing it with the young team here in Ligier.
So this will be a good test for Van der Poel. We know how quick he is on the climbs, how quick will he be on the descents. It'll be interesting if he can follow Azaro through the ramps and routes.
And there we go, into the routes for the first time. And this is where Van der Poel will be really, really tested. This younger generation of riders, absolutely electric through the routes and descents and technical riding. What's the big Dutchman got today?
Yeah, in this descent, big routes to start off with, and the answer is he's got the speed. Azzaro is fast and super fast through that section, but Van der Poel has got it covered. So he's been doing his homework. We know he's been up in Livigno on the mountain bike altitude training, doing a lot of skills work, and that was a big test for Mathieu van der Poel. He's able to match Mathis Azzaro on that key descent.
Yeah, we've seen before with the multidiscipline athletes, Tom Pidcock comes in and basically just swings a leg over a mountain bike in practice and goes, but Van der Poel really fixated on this goal of his of winning the UCI Cross Country World Championships, and if he wants to do so, these are the lads he's going to have to beat.
Yeah, we see Mathieu van der Poel, a big season on the mountain bike, 2018, 2019, and the road for him went through the roof, obviously, and that's where his attentions have been. And he's had a couple of goes coming back. Remember Glasgow after he won the Road Worlds, slapped off there. The event at the Olympics as well, going over the front. So he's returned to mountain bike a couple of times, has ended in tears. And you remember Nova Mesta last year had a nightmare, but so far this weekend in Ligier, so much smoother.
I mean, huge support from Mathieu van der Poel all over the world, but especially here in France, thanks to his grandfather Raymond Poulador. Van der Poel in fourth currently, and Ollie, this is a new one for these three young Frenchmen at the front. Boissy, Martin, Azzaro, been battling each other all season long. Now all of a sudden they are in with one of the superstars of not just cycling but of world sport. A lot to process, but they'll be relishing it as well.
Chatting to Bjorn Riley in the week, and he was just looking forward to banging bars with essentially one of the greatest cyclists of all time. And I think all these racers look forward to racing and want to race Mathieu van der Poel. If you're going to beat him, I think it just makes that achievement even the better.
Yeah, you beat Mathieu van der Poel in a bike race.
Pretty good bragging rights.
Yeah, you're not buying too many pints again, are you?
Especially if one of these French boys does it here in Ligier.
Yeah, Martin on the Cannondale, keeping Boissy honest. Adrien Boissy really forcing the pace at the top of this climb.
Yeah, Boissy pushing on, and we saw
Punchard right in the mix here, look, as well for Cannondale.
I mean, Paul Punchard to come back through the grid. He was 24th, but he's already up into that front group. I'm chatting to Phil Dixon, the Cannondale manager, during the week. He said, keep an eye on Cole Punchard. He is absolutely flying.
He's told us that before, and he's told us that here. That time Punchard got the lead and stuck his tongue out at his mates as he crossed the start-finish line.
And it's a good circuit here. It's a slightly more physical. It's technical, but it is a hillier physical circuit than quite a lot on the calendar. And
very
different. 2 4-minute climbs, and it suits a certain type of rider.
Very different, for example, from the likes of a Latweel earlier on in the year. It'll play to Van der Poel's favour. Plenty of areas to deploy the colossal wattage that he possesses.
Yeah, you get a balance of all these circuits between physical and technical. And this one is definitely more physical than the tech side, whereas the Latweel is probably more balanced towards the tech. Van der Poel's looking great on the mountain bike. He's looking relaxed, he's looking smooth and comfortable.
There's some big hitters at the front of this one. Vidari's in there, Charlie Aldridge, the newly crowned European champions in there. Lucas Schwarzbauer, the Renaissance man, there he is on your screen now.
Yeah, Charlie Aldridge is having a great first lap. He was unfortunate to get a flat tyre on the short track, and that short track race does decide your gridding.
There's the world champion, Alan Hathaway, just through your shot now as well, defending that jersey against Mathieu van der Poel and everyone else next weekend in Val di Sole Trentino. Oh, Schwarzbauer, Mathis Gay and Bjorn Riley. Oh.
Yeah, Mathis Gay just holding that one.
I thought we were about to see something truly awful there, but Mathis Gay managed to hold it, but Bjorn Riley getting tangled up in the divider tape, manages to just about get away with it, does he? The number 13 bike. Gay just drifts across the front of him.
Nasty place to have an accident as well, because as you come off the bottom there, you start the second climb and you're looking to carry as much momentum as possible. But all those three riders having to start from a standstill.
The rockets down through the bike park berms. It's currently Boissy, Martin, Azzaro, Van der Poel.
Yeah, looking at just coming through as well, 11th Henrik Schwarzbauer, Jorn Riley, Peter Lauban, and then happily our world champion. He's 2 times world champion. He won it.
Yeah,
the double.
just underline that, yeah. He's
However,
no slouch.
Double, sorry, 2 years ago, but his first Grand Tour for Jaco Lula at the Giro came out of that with a bit of an ankle injury, and it's just taken him on. Missed a bit of training, but we hear he's back on form as well. So yeah, a rider who will have something to say in this race and also the World Championships next weekend.
We called him the specialised racing ahead of the race.
There we go.
She just jumped the whole thing there.
The rock garden. That's one way I saw Christopher Blevins doing it in the week.
Van der Poel cuts across the front of Avondetto. What a line that is from Adrian Boischi. Just don't get caught up in the rocks, just jump
the whole lot.
Statement as well to everyone else.
But I've been really impressed with Mathieu van der Poel on this first lap. Not just getting to the front group, but his speed on the descents. He's got the speed. He's been working hard. He knows how fast this new group of riders go.
Yeah, Mathieu van der Poel pulling off one of the hardest tricks in cycling, impressing Ollie Beckinsale. Adrian Boischi, meanwhile, leads the race. We called over to specialised factory racing at the start of the morning, and they were telling us that the hype around Boischi, it's Boischi believes now himself. They said he feels like he has legs now all of a sudden.
Yeah, and look at the speed now, pressing on for Boischi.
Well, you can vote for the best XC rider of the round, powered by Gobic, using the QR code on your screen at the minute. Let us know who you at home want to see get presented with a Gobic jersey as your rider off the round, the endless one. And if it continues as it started, there are a lot of names to choose from. Boischi, though, really aggressive.
They're going really hard up here. You can see it in the body language, and also on their faces, and it's Boischi who's putting down the power. Some riders drifting back. Luca Martin is drifting back now. No, sorry, Mathieu Zaro, sorry.
You're all right. It's hard to keep up with this one.
I forgot they swapped French champs tops. It's going to take me a race to remember this one.
Right, well, you've got an hour or so now. Zaro just dropping back here, sitting up, just taking a breath of air.
Yeah, and you can see the pressure. Azaro's the first victim. And it's Boischi who's absolutely hammering it.
The Van der Poel round the outside now, just pulls out, makes the track slightly wider.
Yeah, Colt Punchard just swinging on the back. The rider's looking good so far. It's Martin Fadare, compared to his high standards, slightly slower start of the year, 2 4th positions.
Azaro in that last shot, really dropping back off the front, really feeling the pace here as Boischi continues to insert pain at the front of this one.
So a rider, Azaro, that's had a bit of sickness this week. He's got a cold. Unfortunately, he was hoping to start and feel all right, but he is suffering with a bit of illness.
Yeah, Boischi, Martin, Van der Poel at the front, and Boischi, for the first time in this race, Ollie's just revved the invisible motorbike. You're liking what you're seeing here from the young Frenchman?
So Boischi, the way, Lenza Heide had that crash on the last lap, it didn't quite pan out, but if you're thinking of how he rode that one, he just set like a tempo like this, and he is so fast on the climbs. And there it was only Luca Martin that was able to follow.
Van der Poel just going round the B-line there, getting himself a little bit of space. It is a bit of a longer way round, but
just saves a little bit of energy. You can just stay in the same gear, hold that power.
Slots back in. Avondetto in the third place now. Vidari is behind Van der Poel. Listen to the noise of the crowd as they head into the woods at the top of this climb. Bit of a false flat at the top of that one.
Yeah, so this circuit, 2 4-minute climbs, or at this speed, probably 3 minutes the way these boys are going, and 2 main descents. And at the top here, the difficult section is you come up into the climb, no recovery, and then you're straight into the technical woods. Looking at Charlie Aldridge, he's doing a good climb.
I mean, this is just underlining what we've talked about all season long, the strength and depth in elite men's and elite women's UCI cross-country World Cup racing. Absolutely unbelievable at the minute.
Oh, you see just on that, as the dust is coming onto the corner, Martin Vidari putting in a hard pedal stroke and that back wheel kicking out. I say these riders have got to be careful as these dry and dusty conditions.
Vidari strikes me as a man who would be relishing the opportunity as well to go bar to bar with Mathieu van der Poel today.
All these riders love it when the superstars of cycling, Mathieu van der Poel, Tom Pidcock as well, when they race, it just raises the level and they just want to win as well.
Here they go down for the roots. Boissy, though, Ollie, looking so good at the front here.
And he's a man with confidence. He's had 2 wins already this season, and he knows he's got great legs and good training coming out of Tour of Poland.
Vidari down through the biggest of big holes. He's had a bit of a quieter season so far, Ollie. Why do you think that is?
I think he's just coming into form now. He was the winner last year in Val di Sole. A really strong victory there, and that is where we got the World Championships next week. So of course you've won on. If you're going to peak, that's the one to do.
Seamless. Yeah. That was seamless. Well done.
But looking at this, Van der Poel, he just loses a couple of metres, but it's only a couple of metres. He's impressing me a lot on the descents. You look at last season when he came back to this one, he was deeper in the pack, but he was stiffer on the bike.
Everything's relative, of course, but he was tentative. Yeah. He didn't look comfortable, but he didn't look comfortable trying to stick with a Luca Martin descending pace. But now it's like he's gone away. He's worked at it.
100%. He's put some time in on the mountain bike, and it's paying off. And Boissy, Martin, you know, Avendettos, they are top of the league in terms of descending. And another rider top of the league descending, Charlie Aldridge, he's just trying to get onto the back of this group. Had to come back from deeper. A really good first lap for the new European champion, Charlie Aldridge, and I think within 2 laps he'll be back on.
We're just looking at David List, who's down in 13th after that tangle with the limiter tape earlier on lap 1, so struggling to get back on after having done the hard work in the short track on Friday evening. David List at the Decathlon Ford, the German, but it's now Bjorn Riley leading Christopher Blevins in this group of riders.
Yeah, 16th position, Bjorn Riley, 17th for Blevins. Blevins just rolling past now. So the new US champ taking that just after the break.
In the front of that train is 31 seconds off the lead, and look at that. On course, you get a visual of it.
And it looked like Aldridge was just getting onto the back wheel of that group.
The pace extremely high. Azaro has stopped in the tech zone. We're hearing from Josh Carlson, who's down trackside. He stopped in the tech zone, sat down. Matisse Azaro's race maybe run here for Decathlon. Sorry, excuse me, for Origin Racing Division. We know he's been ill, as you say, Ollie. Maybe had enough now.
But look at Charlie Aldridge. On the climb, he's rolled back onto that group. He's now come past his teammate Cole Punchard.
Aldridge did the double at the European Championships last weekend.
On a really difficult circuit. Very hilly, very technical.
That's how he likes them, though.
Yeah. But a man in form, Dario Lillo, 9th position now, newly crowned Swiss champion. And it's going to be the German champ, Nico Schwarzbauer. Alan Hathaway coming through strong as well, so I think he's going to have something to say about this race as it goes on.
David List now up to 12th. He's bringing Fabio Kuntener of Scott SRAM MTB Racing in with him. Matisse Gay, those three. Looking strong, but
go into the technical wood section here, and it's not technical in the sense that these guys struggle to ride it, but it's riding it smoothly and maintaining momentum. Really difficult as you come around that corner.
Josh reporting in, no mechanicals, no problems with the bike for Matisse Azaro. Simply illness, he's not right, he can't do it. The French national champion is out of his home round. A shame for him, he'll want to do that jersey justice at home.
And also as well, illness this week, obviously that this race, which is devastating for him, but we do have a second chance next week at the World Championships in Val di Sole, so not a great time to pick up sickness.
No. Adrien Boissy, though, Ollie. Yeah. I mean, this is just Boissy in 2026, isn't it? I'll make my own decisions.
He's got 2 wins, he's full of confidence, and he knows he's got the form, he'll know the numbers, and he's just going to be happy just setting this tempo from start to finish.
Martin Vidare chasing down Mathieu Van der Poel, Chilean national champion.
And the riders absolutely
skim that pad on the way past, and there he is, Matisse Azaro, out of this one. Ill this week, the newly crowned French national champion, not feeling it, keeping his powder dry for next weekend perhaps in Val di Sole.
Yeah, he gave it a go, but wasn't to be. And
yeah, maybe, as you say, Ollie, maybe just clever to not press that one and make himself even iller.
Yeah, if you race, sometimes you have to race sick. You've been preparing for one event and you just roll the dice, but for the Worlds next week, the right thing to do is to, if you're not 100%, is call it a day and recover as quickly as you can.
I'll tell you what, this pace of Adrien Boissy is working. Yeah. The top 5 are now just ahead of this chase group. Aldridge, Pinchard, Flukiger, Lilo, Schwarzbar in it, but the top 5, as you can see on track, there's that little bit of daylight between them, and 6th, 7th and 8th.
Martin Vidari, the Chilean champion, you see their 5th wheel, he looks cool. He looks smooth, he looks cool. And when he won that race last year in Valladolid, his first ever World Cup win, I think he learned a lot. Previously before, it's a bit more gung-ho style, and he did that. He came through strong as the race went on, paced it really well. And at the moment, he's in that front group, and he's just sitting on the back, just being very, very patient.
Vidari, big character on and off the bike. One of the best bike handlers out there. Currently sat in 5th at the minute for Specialized. There he is. Just thinks better of T-Bone and Mathieu van der Poel as they head into the tech feed zone. It's an awkward tech feed zone entrance that.
And he's right, it's important for them to take not just bottles for energy drink, but you'll see them pouring them on themselves, kind of a dump bottle. It's very hot today, the long climbs in the sun, so it's important to keep the core body temperature down. If you overheat, you just grind to a halt.
Boischi, Martin, Avendetto, Van der Poel, Vidare, Aldridge, Punchard, Flukiger, Lilo. And across the line in 10th, Luca Schwarzbar. There is Schwarzbar just heading for your shot now. There's the UCI World Champion, Alan Hafferley. Matisse Cesaro heads home.
And so that first lap pace, Luca Martin, 9:40, and they've just backed it off to a 10:03.
Martin into the lead now, ahead of Adrian Boischi. It'll be interesting to see what he does here with the pace, Ollie. What are your predictions?
I think Martin just needs to steady and not get... I think it's that rush of blood you can sometimes get if you hit the front. I think for these French riders, that home race, the home crowd, just got to control things a little bit. I think if Martin looks behind him, if they want to play a team game, he's going to see Charlie Aldridge and Cole Punchard. So he could help those guys just knocking a beat off. Keep an eye as well. Mateus looking at, you see in the red-white, Thomas Maxon top. He did a really good short track, his best short track of the year. He was 3rd here in this race last year and won for the climbs. You see him just getting onto the back of the group now, onto the back of Vidari. He's making a front group of 6. And then you have Aldridge, Punchard, and it's been about 3 seconds the whole way through.
Mathias Flukiger started his first UCI World Cup before Cole Pinchard's 4th birthday. For a bit of context for you. I'm not saying he's old, he's experienced like ourselves. Martin, Boischi, Avendetto, Van der Poel, Vidare, Flukiger, Aldridge, Punchard. What a top 8 we have here. Van der Poel looking really strong, Ollie.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He passed the test in the short track yesterday. He said he's very, very impressed with his descending skills to ride with this front group. I thought he would lose a bit more on the descents and have to fight back on the climbs, but he's been really smooth. Yeah, in a whole 50-metre descent, 2 metres, you know, and he closes that back with a small surge in acceleration. And you know, it's an unbelievable bike racer, but he's looking like they're really fast and competent on the mountain bike as well at the moment.
We also had a bit of a drool over those Cannondale factory racing scalpels, didn't we, earlier in the week as well? They've stripped all the paint off it, just a single coat of clear coat on top of the black carbon fibre. Things weren't light enough, so they decided...
How do you get 200 grams off? Just take all the paint off.
200 grams, it's not nothing.
No.
But they look so stealthy. Boischi back in the lead of the race now. Maybe just decided that the pace wasn't high enough.
I think on this circuit, there's a minimum amount of drafting. You don't have to be in a group. You know, there's no advantage to being on the wheel really here. So for Boischi to be at the front, you get the choice of line, you get clear track. It's getting a bit dusty as well now. So you can't quite see what you're going to hit. And I think Boischi's in control of this one at the moment.
Boischi. Class off the field so far. Luca Martin led for a lap or so. Here we are as things stand. It's still Boischi, Martin, Avendetto, 1, 2, 3. The 7th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup here in the Haute-Savoie and Léger. Only 4 Frenchmen have ever won an XCO race on home soil. The late Christophe Dupuis, Julien Absalon, Victor Koretsky, Luca Martin. Can Boishy add his name to that illustrious list? 183 beats per minute on the Whoop Live of Mathieu van der Poel in zone 4, 184 beats per minute.
And that's where you want to be at this point in the race. We're at medium altitude here, just over 1,000 meters. The long climbs to heat, you want to be in zone 4.
Nicely done down through the routes for Van der Poel.
Yeah. He's comfortable through there. You see, he throws it over the top,
this is the
right
sector,
on the back wheel.
This is the sector last year where he was visibly losing bike lengths to Luca Martin.
And Canyon have a new bike as well. Chatting to Luca Schwartzbauer in the week, he said he's having a good season. He said in part it was the new bike. Last year it was a bit old school, it's a bit more progressive, now it's moved on, and that's going to help too.
Yeah, that'll be geometry, and the way the bike uses its suspension, where the rider is positioned on it, and cross-country racing, it continues to get faster and faster, and descending continues to get more and more important. But Ollie, we talked about it earlier on, that bikes like the Cannondale Scalpel, the Specialized Epic, the new Canyon, it feels like for a couple of years manufacturers were content to add weight to get improved suspension performance. Now they're coming back with a Scalpel and just removing all the extra grams.
Yeah, the riders were happy riding a bike at 11 to 12 kilograms. They went, the horses got more technical. Obviously, every rider was running full suspension, drop seat posts. We added 120 mil travel, and we started to tune the bikes more for the descending speed. And now we're seeing that stabilization and people going, right, now we've got the right bike. Let's put it on a diet. Let's trim it down. We saw, chatting to Cannondale in the week, they're using, you know, the lightest reserve wheels. They've got lighter WTB hubs. You've got new Sapin RS spokes, you know, the resin spokes, and they're just trying to take weight off everywhere, removing the paint from start to finish. They're now chasing this 10 kilogram bike.
Yeah, we're going to get a look at some of that suspension technology at work. These modern cross-country bikes, what they put them through, absolutely unbelievable. And systems like RockShox's Flight Attendant, making the decision for the riders, able to toggle through the different modes 1,400 times per race. And I mean, that has to be such an advantage.
Yeah, 100%. The times of everyone using thumb lockout. Some teams and some systems still do. Like you say, the Flight Attendant system for the riders, or the teams that are on RockShox. See Charlie Aldridge, electric Neo system with the one-sided lefty, but the Flight Attendant was the one that raised the bar. And I remember you chatting to Nino Schurter, just saying that for him it was revolutionary.
Yeah, he said he used to toggle through the modes 300 times himself. Now the bike adds over 1,000 different things to it, and it's just, yeah, it's an arms race at the minute, and it feels like, you know, heading towards the middle of the Olympic cycle. All these manufacturers want to get their tech to the front, and modern cross-country bikes, the suspension platform is really similar to how a downhill bike works, you know, really supple off the top through the chattery stuff, and then the progression of how the suspension ramps up the faster you go. So impressive.
I mean, you look at the fork then of Adrian Boishy, you want it supple going through the route sections, but then the next thing, you might have the big drops, the big jumps, and then you need it to ramp up so the riders will adjust the suspension so it's supple at the top end and then ramp straight up through. Doesn't bottom out. You know, Martin Vadare, he had Specialized Epic 9, had a bike check earlier, and it was exactly like that. He wants it to be super supple for the small bumps, and then it's got to take on the big bumps as well, so it's asking a lot.
He was also quite happy in that bike check to admit that he gets his suspension serviced a lot. It's not him that's doing it.
The advantage of a full-time mechanic, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't have the syringes out in the kitchen covered in oil. Lap 3 out of 8 here in Ligier, and Adrian Boishy is still dictating the pace. Look at the speed of them down through there.
Rattling through here. And this is straight line. It was only a couple of years ago that riders were taking that flow line, going all the way around the berms, taking the long way down. They're now just clattering straight through the middle.
And this is the sort of sector where we're on about where you need the suspension to support you. You can't have it soft and blowing through. It needs to get more progressive as it moves into its stroke and keep the rider held up nice and straight. The Chilean flag waving, Martin Vidare well supported everywhere we go. Mateusz Lukiger in 6th.
And Boishy's putting pressure, and there's little bits of gaps appearing. He's looking very, very comfortable on the bike.
this corner here. So fast, completely off camber. Van der Poel a bit wider than everyone else through there, carrying a bit of extra speed, and it's really dusty, and you've got to trust the front end that it's not about to disappear from underneath you.
Remember the year that Nino Schurter won his World Championships on this venue in 22, and on that corner slapped off. You know, you can ride all the techie rock features, the route features, and you just relax on this grass. Next thing, the back wheel went out on him, he slapped off, and I remember in the interview afterwards, he couldn't even remember doing it, he was in the zone.
He said it was a perfect race. He didn't remember coming off the thing. He had a few of them in his career, to be fair. Meanwhile,
Some
at the
statement.
front, Martin rolls past Adrian Boissy, but she doesn't fight it.
But it's a little bit of a statement. Let's see if not wanting to sit behind, you want to roll through.
Let's see if Boissy jumps the whole rock garden here.
Look at that. Lands on that last one.
There he
Takes
goes,
the
straight back in front. Adrian Boissy back to the front of the race. You love to see it, so you do.
There's some good mind games going on there between Martin and Boissy. Martin taking the lead, Boissy taking it back through the rock garden.
One of the moves of the year so far. Adrian Boissy, take a bow. Mathieu Van der Poel, he's busy at the minute, but he'll have appreciated that. He had a ringside seat for it.
Yeah, some move.
Charlie Aldridge. Tell you what, Adrian Boissy, not scared. He's not lacking in confidence, is he?
There we go, man of the match from the short track in my book. David List ended up in third, his first World Cup podium.
I guarantee you there will have been a roar around Morgan Hill whenever that pass went in. There's Dario Lillo, winner at round one. Lukas Schwarzbart, drenched. Alan Hafferley, here we go. Ollie, talk us through it.
You see Boissy on the inside, just commits to the corner, and he knows he's got a little bit of a gap over Martin.
Slams the door, then gets on the anchors, then turns into the tech feed zone.
And has the body language like it's just like nothing.
He's got the minerals all out, hasn't he? Great to see Adrian Boissy, full flight.
But there's some good mind games going on between these. There's some great battles already this year. Another big battle on the short track on Friday, and it's just continuing into this race. And that mind games of, you saw it as well, that Martin had to put a physical effort to get past. And then Boissy just went, I'll just overtake you in the air. No
there we go. Whoop comparison, 172 plays 171, both in zone 4 on the Whoop Live. Currently, Martin and Mathieu Van der Poel. Well, we saw yesterday the French president, Emmanuel Macron, reposting some of the downhill action. He'll have enjoyed that pass at home, I'm sure. From Adrian Boissy to retake the lead. Van der Poel.
Yeah, he's looking good at the moment.
He's in that pack, isn't he? He's working hard, but...
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to say a lot about Mathieu Van der Poel. He's won pretty much everything that
there is
his
win,
rider
really.
type could win.
And that's why he's so fixated on the cross-country mountain bike world title, isn't he? He's aware of his place in history. He wants the full set of stripes, and he knows that this one, I mean, 2019, whenever he did 3 triples in that season on the mountain bike, he knows that cross-country world champs is a big omission in his eyes.
Yeah, his best result in mountain bike worlds has been a 3rd place. Had a bronze medal. He's had 10 short track wins as well in the past. And that mountain bike, cyclocross, 9 world championships, world champs as well on the road, but never the mountain bike. He wants to set, and there is a possibility. He's current cyclocross world champion. Not getting ahead of ourselves, but mountain bike and then world championships back end of the year is all within his skill set as well. So.
I mean, we mentioned earlier on that the talent pool, as we see Martin trying to go around the outside of Boissy, who's taking a gel. Boissy doesn't make it easy for him, but he gets the pass made.
It's the first time that Martin's going to hit the descent in the lead.
Flukiger still hanging on here in 6th place for Thomas Maxson. Flukiger just getting distance ever so slightly now and again, but seems to manage to get back on the back of the group.
So this is the first opportunity we get to see what Luca Martin's got under the tank.
Martin looking like he's giving it a good go up here.
And it'll be nice to see him going down through that ramp. Remember last year when he got that race, where he got the big gap over Luca Brido was on the descent, and it was bonkers how fast he went through it.
Absolutely disappeared, didn't he? We jump on board the live drone in behind Matthias Flukiger with Thomas Maxson.
but keep an eye out. Martin Vidare just doing a really, trying to fly under the radar, really low-key race at the moment. He's sat there 5th position the whole lap.
Going through this section really nicely now. Vidare is maintaining station behind Mathieu van der Poel. And that's really, really awkward little left-hander.
Italian Chabab Vendetto from the Villa Vittoria factory team, and again another rider's just been happy to sit in the wheels.
Well, here's a little Mathieu van der Poel highlights package for you.
And that was some statement as well. I'm here. I'm at the front of the race.
It was a statement,
yeah.
But he's not mixed it, has he? He's not been tripped up. He's not got overly combative. He's just kept the pace going really, really well and has a really good place in this group. There's that rather expensive timepiece that nearly got sucked into a front wheel in the short track on Friday evening.
And it's a good climb for Luca Martin. So the two climbs are different. The first climb is more of a windy, steady gradient most of the time to the top. This one's more in sections, and I think the busy style of Martin, he likes to get in and out the saddle and accelerate. That suits him better than the first one. He's just putting pressure on this group 9. His distance.
Look at the speed of them.
Yeah, they're absolutely
visually up
right.
there. They're hauling up there. Lap 4 out of 8, half race distance. Just under it.
Yeah, this pace of Martin is just putting, we see Simone Vendetto in 3rd position. Mouth open, gasping a little bit, and he's just feeling it a little bit. Look a bit further back, Charlie Aldridge, 8th position, Hunter and 9th, Darillo 10th, Punchard 11th, Hathaway up to 13th now on the Giant.
Look at Martin Vidare though. Vidare really hanging in there, Ollie.
Yeah, Vidare's doing it. He's just super smooth. We know how good he is on the descent, but on the climb he's just been really patient, very careful. I don't think he's at his limit. I think he's got a bit left in the tank.
Yeah, he's had a lot of 4th places so far this season.
And it's an opportunity as well, as Boischi and Martin are really going at each other, and they're playing a lot of mind games. They're wasting some energy doing that, I think. And whereas someone like a Vidare and even a Van der Poel at the moment, they're just sitting back, letting those guys hit the front.
There is Matthias Flückiger battling on like only he knows how to.
Yeah, and David List coming back through.
Yeah, what a ride from List.
I know he got caught up on that first climb.
Yeah, Bjorn Riley is way back in 28th after that little tangle with David List earlier on. List storming back through the pack in 7th place.
It's a nice shot there, just following the drone, just following Martin Vidare through. Just see how smooth he is. Just popping over the roots. He gets little small sections where he just stands on his heels and just gets a little bit of recovery. It's all those sections that will add up over the race.
2 seconds covering the top 5 at half race distance here at the 7th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in Ligier. Luca Martin of Cannondale Factory Racing leads the way. There's Vidare, and I'm glad to say we are joined. I'm glad to say, I'm not glad to say you're joining us, but we're joined in the commentary booth by Matisse Azaro. Matisse, you've had an unlucky day enough, and now you're going to have to spend some time with Ollie and I. How are you feeling? You just not right?
Yeah, since Friday morning I woke up a bit sick. Could do the short track pretty well, and yeah, get worse yesterday. This morning, no miracle. I woke up with the same, and I just say, yeah, we try the first lap and then we see it, but I was not sweating at all. Yeah, just prefer to save my body for next week, and yeah, give a chance to my body to recover for World Champs.
Matisse, are you enjoying watching this shape up though? Mathieu van der Poel out there mixing it with you boys. What's it like having a rider of his fame, his stature in there with you at a World Cup?
Yeah, it's exactly the same with Tom Pidcock. It's really nice to share a race with champions like this. They put the light on our sport. They are really rock star on the road, and our sport is really tough. So we can really see that Mathieu is in the front of the race, but yeah, he is struggling also. As
Speaking of struggling, Martin Vidari just loses the front wheel. I think you'll enjoy this. You get to see quite a lot in here.
Yeah.
And you saw in the race, you did a lap, but you hit the front, you gave it a good go before you had to admit that you had to save your energy for next week. But who was looking good out of this group when you arrived that first lap?
I think Adrian is a contender. Also Martin, even if he slid a bit.
It didn't slow him down much, did it?
Yeah, it's slippery. It doesn't look slippery, but yeah, you ride with more speed than you expect, so you can lose easily the two wheels.
And we've seen Adrian Boischier as well jumping this whole section.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was possible, but
yeah. I saw a video of Chris Blevins doing it, and I think Adrian just followed him. So yeah, I think it's gonna be again a French battle, and also Simone looks strong. So yeah, I bet Adrian first, Luca second, and Simone third.
I like how you place your bets early.
Yeah. He always asks me, and I always manage to skillfully avoid it. So. Matthias Flückiger looking super good as well today, though.
Yeah, he's a bit far back, but yeah, he can close the gap. But I think he will gonna miss a bit in the end of the race because you will pay the effort anyway.
Where do you think is the most time to be made on this course? Where's the best place for the attacks up the first big climb?
Yeah, I think it's when it's the steepest, like we can see this rock garden section, then you join again the fire road, and when you start to turn on the left, it's where you put you can put the biggest attack, I think.
There we go. And we saw last year as well when Luca Martin attacked Luca Brido to get the win. Do you think out of this group he's the fastest descender in the race?
Do you mean Luca?
Luca, yeah, Luca Martin.
Yeah, I think so. Luca and also Martin, they are the fastest, and also Adrian has a really good. Yeah, we can see the zone.
Well, you see, Mathieu van der Poel in zone 3 in the yellow. 166 beats per minute versus 173 of Luca Martin on the Whoop Live. Van der Poel now into the amber zone as they head up this climb. It's getting wide. It's getting choppy. Van der Poel starting to look really, really strong, Ollie.
Yeah, he's just moving up the outside, going to the front and just trying to take control of the race now. I think it's like when he sees Martin, especially pushing down into the descent, he puts him under a little bit of pressure. I think if Van der Poel can just lead into the downhill, just keep everyone behind, it gives him an opportunity. Doesn't have to chase again.
Matthias, are you all of a sudden realising how much more comfortable it is to be in this booth versus out there, having Mathieu van der Poel move to the front of this race?
Yeah, I think he's feeling less comfortable in the downhill. So yeah, as you said, he tried to control the pack behind to not lose too much energy, but they also recover pretty more in the downhill. So it's like, yeah.
It looks like he's really worked on his descending though. Last season he didn't look as comfortable in the descents, but today he's hanging right in there with Luca and Adrian and yourself to start the lap.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed. I tried to go first in the first downhill, and I was like still right in my wheel. Yeah. And last year wasn't the case. Or I think he really worked on that this winter.
He's just really good at bikes, isn't he, Ollie? That's the problem.
I think he's pretty good. But Martin Vidari, for me, is the one that's doing a good race. You know, he's really just calm, smooth, just flowing through the group, similar to how he was in Val de Soleil last year.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's patient behind, doesn't show up. Like the others maybe forget him, but he has also a good punch in the last lap. So yeah, we can also bet on him.
Vidari currently in 4th then. Van der Poel leads the way, and it's Boischier, Martin, Avendetto, the Italian national champion, at the back of this lead group. I can tell you the lead group has 15 seconds on 6th place. Matthias Flückiger for Thomas Maxen, who's behind them. And it just looks like Avendetto now struggling slightly to sustain this pace. Ollie, what are you reading into this turn on the front from Mathieu van der Poel? Is he starting to hurt them?
Good tactics by Van der Poel. He leads into the descent. He's been getting put under pressure. He's riding very well on the downhills, but he's getting put under a little bit of pressure. Here he can control the pace. And it means that he can come into the bottom of the climb in 1st place. And it'd be interesting to see that because he's now at the front of the race, he hits the climb out obviously at the front, and that's the opportunity for him to just pull a little body blow in if he likes.
Yeah, if he can remain at the front when they head onto that start-finish straight and then arrive on the bottom of that long climb first, we could really see the riders behind him be in a world of pain. You can see how big those roots are, and Van der Poel really fast down off that drop. Super rough through there, Matisse, as well.
Yeah, he's. I'm super impressed by Mathieu. Honestly, compared to last year, he's way faster, because I remember last year he was behind, and I just, maybe lost 5 or 7 seconds on me. So yeah, now he's doing pretty well.
Like you said, you got the lead into that first lap.
Yeah.
I was like, here he goes. Here's the first test.
Yeah.
Can he follow Matisse? And he did. He was almost. He only lost maybe 1 meter. Yeah, really good job.
Luca Martin now moving into second place, just moving alongside Adrien Boissy, slotting back in behind Mathieu Van der Poel. Now takes the lead. Luca Martin to the front. Van der Poel at the second wheel now. Adrien Boissy in third, just ahead of his teammate Martin Vadare. Behind him, Simone Avendetto, and Avendetto looks like he's stabilised now. He's back on the back of this group. How tough is it, Matisse, to stay in a group like this? Do you have to manage your efforts and inputs and just stay in there?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you can be really nervous sometimes, because when you're 5 like this, when you are the last, you are doing a lot the elastic, so you lost quite some energy, and you can see like everyone fight to be 2, like second and third. So yeah, I think you have to keep calm the whole way, and be patient to put you on the first place.
And it's Luca Martin now just putting the pressure on.
Well, Matisse, you are getting ready to head off and leave us to the culmination of this race. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you back to your best next weekend in Val di Sole.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good race.
we will indeed, and go and enjoy watching the end of this one. Get your feet up, and hopefully you'll feel better soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Here we go then. Luca Martin in the front, leading this train of riders.
Yeah, it's great to hear from Matisse Cesaro, the man who led this first descent, and now he's setting the booth with us.
Well, there, Van der Poel just pulled out. Martin had a bit of a look at him. Yeah, Matisse Cesaro, obviously upset not to be out there at the minute, but also really interested to see him watching on and just looking at his opponents.
But him saying as well, he put the pressure on Mathieu Van der Poel on the first descent and was really impressed that he managed to keep up. He put the pressure on. Van der Poel did pass that first test and looking good, and he's getting more active in this race as it goes on, up to second position, just following Luca Martin.
There's Matthias Flukiger in sixth place with David List. Decathlon Ford. I tell you what, David List, dark horse at World Championships next weekend off the back of this form.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that tangling up in that first
he'd be right in the mix.
He wouldn't be far off that front group. He's backing up that short track, third position.
25 seconds off the lead, David List. Currently in seventh, the German for Decathlon Ford. There's Dario Lillo, Swiss national champion.
And a little further back. Now Dario Punchard 10th, Aldridge 11th, Schwarzbauer happily. Filippo Colombo coming back from injury as well, coming through 15th position now. And then further back, worth keeping an eye on Bjorn Riley. 25th position for Scott Schramm, so just drifting off compared to his last races. And further back as well, Chris Blevins, 31st for last year's defending champ.
Fair play to Matisse Cesaro. Missing out here due to illness, and he has to come and hang out with us. It's been a tough day for him. Luca Martin leading the way for Cannondale Factory Racing, then absolutely nothing in it at the front. 5 laps in to the 7th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup, the last European round of the season. We go to Italy for Val di Sole for the UCI World Championships next weekend, and across the Atlantic. Take the light from your eyes down there.
That speed through that section. But how impressive. I know we've mentioned, but I'm going to mention it again. Look at Mathieu Van der Poel. This is Luca Martin, in my book, the fastest descender, and this is a 50-metre drop.
Look at that strain, 17.2 already. It goes up to 21, 179 beats per minute.
I'd be feeling the strain dropping down behind Luca Martin on this descent.
Yeah, I wouldn't see which way he'd gone, but
he's following. You know, he's got the speed. He's following through this section.
Looks comfortable, doesn't he?
Really good.
So he gets to about 19 on the strain scale on a Tour de France scale on the Whoop Live. Van der Poel. It shows you how tough cross-country racing is. He's at 17.2 already.
No recovery here, that's for sure.
No recovery. It's a really nice wide line. Adrian Boishy pulls alongside. Van der Poel says, nope. Stay where you are, young man. It's so steep up around this left-hander as well. And he looks in control. He looks comfortable. That's not a face of a man who's at 17.2 on the strain scale. He's got more matches to burn.
I mean, you get some riders as well. You have to be careful. You get some riders who've got more of a poker face. Pauline Fontevaux, Jenny Risveds, they all look calm even under pressure. Some riders like Luca Martin, Alessandra Kenner, a bit more busy on the bike, so they're always
body language
blowing a bit. But yeah, Van der Poel at the moment looks like he's got a bit left in the tank.
He did the triple 3 times in 2019. Oh, clever riding from Boishy there. Just gave best. Saw Van der Poel was coming across the front of him. Didn't push too hard. Well, it's been 2,555 days since Mathieu Van der Poel last won a UCI cross-country Olympic World Cup. I mean, who's counting? He's back in the mix today. Now it's Boishy pulling out. And in the lead of the race ahead of Luca Martin. So the top 5 are currently, well, it's 26 seconds from the first place rider to the 6th place rider. So
that last lap was the slowest so far. The lap before was a 9:56. That's a 10:17. So they've just backed off a little bit. But I think this one's going to be a hot one. Adrian Boishy's now setting that tempo.
Josh Carlson reporting in, the crowd absolutely loving the battle apparently at the front. As the leaders lap around every time, the whole place going absolutely berserk for them. There's Dario Lelu in 8th, Fabio Puntiner in 9th.
Yeah, Puntiner having that crash and breaking his saddle in the short track, but he's having a good ride. He's working through the grid, good lap times for Puntiner, and he's going to finish strong.
UCI World Champion Alan Hafley for Giant Factory Off-Road, currently in 13th. How do you rate Hafley's chances of keeping that jersey for a 3rd successive reign?
Yeah, I mean, coming back from the Tour of Italy, I think for Alan Hafley, he's got his work cut out, but you know, a man who normally times, you don't get 2-time world champion if you don't good at peaking your form. So
look at this. Oh, Boishy and Vidare out there having fun like only those pair know how to do, and believe me, they know how to have fun. Luca Martin and Mathieu Van der Poel taking flight, and this is a new face of cross-country racing. Ollie, you need to be comfortable at this speed over these jumps through technical sections, because you get a chance to get your breath back mentally, take a break.
And you go look at those lap times. The first one was so hot, then they settled down into 10-minute lap times, and then David Liss fastest on that last lap. And say with the Catheron rider 3rd in the short track, and he's coming through fast.
Yeah, List's in 6th at the minute. Just he's the next rider down the road from this group. So the 28 seconds off the back of the Italian national champion Avendetto, who's at the back of the train presently. But it has been Boishy, Martin and Van der Poel who have dictated the pace here.
Vidare, for me, is the dark horse at the moment in this group. He's a World Cup winner in Val di Sole last year, so it's not exactly a surprise to be here by any means. However, he's just kept his nose dry. He's been there the whole race, 4th or 5th wheel, and he's looking really calm.
No, but you have to love that as well, because Vidare is like a pin fire at the fireworks factory whenever he decides to go off, as is Luca Martin now.
Yeah, Martin is attacked.
Yeah, he's twisting the throttle now at the front.
Just going over that false path. He wanted to lead in descent. This is a proper attack for Martin.
Lap 6 out of 8. Now it starts. Now things are going to get rowdy from here to the line, as one by one these riders are going to throw absolutely everything at each other in Ligier.
This is going to be a fast drop down the hill. And it's on these loose corners, not this bermed one, it's the next one. just off camber, drops away.
It's a nasty little turn that the drone sort of struggles to do the drop off there. Justice and camber.
And this little up and down new section here, rock garden, the rider's just going for that longer line, but it has a faster exit. They carry better speed up the ramp. A little gap appearing then, it was Avendetto and Badare, just a small gap.
Chris Blevins, US national champ, down in 35th at the minute. Josh just reporting in that no visible signs of anything wrong. He just seems to be chilling, so maybe another rider just keeping things calm ahead of the world champs next weekend, perhaps. New US national champ jersey on his back. Currently 35th for Specialized, the reigning overall title holder.
Yes, David List now is a Cathlon forward rider, just working past Matthias Flukinger on the Thomas bike. Moving up now into 6th position. Just 33 seconds behind now.
Just as the elite women's race was. This is absolutely fascinating, Ollie. The front of the race staying together. Nice see the beeline there from Flukiger. Watch now, he's going to merge around the outside. The List is too fast down the A-line. That's definitely something that the Thomas Maxon riders have worked on. We saw Alessandra Keller switching it up onto that B-line. Gives you a better run through that left-hander, but now the cracks are starting to show.
Yeah, Badare, it's that acceleration by Luca Martin going into the woods. Boischi and Van der Poel could follow, but Badare and Avendetto just had to let the wheel go, and it's 3 seconds now.
Tell you what, Van der Poel almost half-wheeling Boischi at times on this climb, really putting them under pressure, making his presence felt. And look at Badare just rolling back onto the back of Mathieu Van der Poel.
Avendetto just swinging on the back of it, and he's pulling some faces. Winner of the World Under-23 Championships back here in 2022.
Luca Martin still in control for the time being. Lenzerheide, 2019, the last UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup that Mathieu Van der Poel, the rider in third. One of the biggest superstars in world sport. That's the last time he won one of these things. Can he get another one today, 7 years later? Yolanda Neff at the side of the track, roaring on. Luca Martin, her Cannondale Factory Racing teammate. This Ligier track, packed top to bottom. Martin with the #1 red plate of the series overall points leader, leads his great rival Adrien Boischi, leads Mathieu Van der Poel, leads Martin Vidare, leads Simone Avendetto, who's still at the back, giving this one a really good go on that prototype Willier.
So we've got about 23 minutes of racing left.
Talk about dark horses for the Worlds next weekend. Avendetto, not that dark a horse on this form.
But we talk about when we're having the chat in the week before, right, who do you think is going to do okay in this one? And you go through a list, and then before you know it, you've named 15 riders.
I mean, we are very, very lucky to do what we do, but to do what we do in this real golden age of a generation emerging and still mixing it with the likes of the Van der Poels, the Tom Pidcocks.
Yeah, both Tom Pidcock and Mathieu Van der Poel down to ride at the World Championships next week. Short track will be on Thursday and cross country on Sunday.
5.2 seconds. Simone Avendetto has brought back on Luca Martin up that climb, but it matters not because they're welded together at the front of this one on lap 6 out of 8. Adrien Boischi leads the way and seems comfortable doing so, Ollie, just as his teammate Sina Fry was in the elite women's race. Not backwards and coming forward.
Boischi is that big engine tempo rider, and we saw him in Lenzerheide, also in Leogang as well, just setting this pace at the front.
I mean,
putting the other riders under constant pressure.
Whatever you use the phrase, big tempo, big engine. There's another rider in this front group Around about third position at the minute that you could probably level that at too, but
Did you watch the last stage of the Tour de France?
Yeah, it's pretty good, wasn't it?
All right, wasn't it?
Yeah. Van der Poel, unbelievable. Absolute machine. Transcends the sport in so many ways. He's in third at the minute, 7 years after the last time he won one of these things, with a brand new generation of riders on a brand new generation of bikes, mixing it with them more than happily.
Like I say, we were lucky enough to be joined by Matis Cesaro, unfortunately out with illness, but led.
Lucky for us, not so lucky for him.
Yeah. Led the first that descent. And he said he was massively impressed with the improvement that Van der Poel's making since last year. And that's enabling him to just sit in this group with riders who can descend so quick, the best in the business. Boischi, Martin, Avendetto, Martin Badai, but Avendetto just swinging a little bit on the back.
Boischi, Martin, Van der Poel, Vidare, Avendetto, the chase group, David List, 33 seconds back off the lead, then Flukiger.
And watch Adrian Boischi, he hits this berm so fast and then jumps the entire rock garden.
Martin goes for it, but nowhere near the distance that Boischi's getting off it.
And there's some big old chunky rocks in there, so you don't want to go up short on that.
Josh saying that Mathieu Van der Poel running a slightly smaller chainring today than he was during the short track on Friday evening. He says it looks more, in inverted commas, human-sized than alien. Here they go, they're starting to mix it now. Three abreast briefly there as they head on to the base of the big long climb. David List, Flukiger still holding on to the back of the Decathlon Ford man.
And that was a faster lap than the previous one, so they're starting to ramp things up, and I think we're going to see these next two laps. Lap 7 will go up a notch, and lap 8 is going to be ballistic.
Flukiger roared on, but we need to see what's happening at the front of the race here, because this big long climb is where a lot of the battles are going to be done. I think Flukiger does have a problem with the shoes, adjusted that a couple of times now. There's Lilo and Puntener, 8th and 9th. Three Swiss riders in a row. Swiss fans absolutely loving it. Meanwhile, at the front, this is getting cagey now. Who's going to take this on? Martin, Boischi, Van der Poel.
There we see Phil Dixon, team manager, just running up the outside. Some words of encouragement for Luca Martin. And a great ride by these two. Dario Lillo on Giant Factory in his new Swiss champ top.
Boischi.
Fabio Puntener.
Boischi attacks, but they've stayed with him. Well, you can use the QR code on your screen now to vote for the best XC rider of the round, powered by Gobik. The winner gets a jersey. But meanwhile...
look at Boischi, he's just stretching it out.
Boischi's hurting them here.
Yeah, this is a long-range attack by Adrian Boischi. It goes around the corner, there it goes steep up through the woods.
Use the QR code. Let us know who your rider of the round is. And still, Boischi up out of the saddle, attacking at the top of this climb. Martin has it under control. Van der Poel keeps a good eye on it. Fastest rider per lap. Boischi, Flukiger, List, Martin, List, Boischi.
Then it's just a little bit of respite over the top, and then it goes again. Overall, I think Boischi's just going to tap out this tempo. Wants to put pressure on these other riders and not just leave it down to a sprint.
Yeah, it is getting hot out there. It's been hot all race long. Riders taking on as much sustenance as they can now. Luca Martin moves to the front past Boischi. Again, Van der Poel watches on.
And it's Luca Martin now just on those steep corners. He wants to lead into the woods. He wants to get into the front for that descent.
Martin refusing to give best to Boischi.
Look at this now, the pressure from Luca Martin. He wants to stay ahead of Boischi. Van der Poel just fights to follow.
Avendetto in agony at the back of this, trying to hang on.
This is going to be a fast descent through this one.
It's just getting strung out. There's bike lengths appearing, half bike lengths appearing. The pace is going up at the front thanks to this attack from Luca Martin.
Martin straight through that A-line, through all the other riders picking that same run through, trying to straight line it, and the key is carrying speed onto this next ramp and then into the descent. It's all about that momentum.
Can you theorise at all about what the tactics would be here in this group? Are they going to go from deep? Do they want to, I guess, not arrive onto the last half of the last lap of Mathieu van der Poel in the group? How do you deal with a problem like this?
I think the key climb is that the first climb of the last lap. I think Boischi's going to go first, and I think it's Luca Martin who's got a bit more of a punch to try and keep up. And then I think Mathieu van der Poel, I think he just needs to hang on there, but I think it's Vidare for me. He's looking good.
Yeah, Vidare has not put his nose in the wind all race long, has just stayed behind Van der Poel. And he's let Martin and Boischi drive the pace, knock paint off each other at the front.
But this is going to go down to the wire. I can't really split it at the moment. Nobody's looking stronger or weaker in different sections. They're all looking so even.
We both have massive smiles on our faces at the minute. This one is going to go down to the wire. Don't go anywhere. Throw your phone out the window. This one is going to be worth watching in its entirety. The top five have dug in all race long. Here's the battle for sixth currently. David List versus Matthias Flückiger of Thomas Maxen. Flückiger refusing to give up.
And that gap coming back. It's only a second at a time, but David List is going fast at the moment. He's just dragging Matthias Flückiger with him.
Look at that, the jersey of Luca Martin with the number 1 on his back. Leads the UCI Cross Country World Cup Olympic distance overall points chase. Adrien Boischi, his great rival, just behind him. Then you've got Mathieu van der Poel, Martin Vidare.
I think we're going to see another scrap. At the moment, there's a bit of a lull on this transition section over the rollers. Then we're into some steep climbs. Then it's that false flat before the kick up into the woods. That kick up and leading into the woods is going to be important. So I think we're going to see a scrap for position there.
Martin rolling through in the lead. That signature style, moves his hands closer into the grips. Boischi goes past. Martin just stretching the neck out. This is where he attacked last year.
Martin looked happy though for Boischi to go first.
Yeah.
Just let him go through. He wanted to lead into this, and I think we're going to see then Martin look to jump over the top of Boischi going in to the next wood section.
Fans absolutely being treated here now. Mathieu van der Poel goes to the front.
So we're off that false flat section, putting the power down. He wants to lead into the woods and lead into that descent.
Boischi scrambles to keep up with him. Martin distance ever so slightly. It's all still to play for. But for the time being, Mathieu van der Poel leads here in Léger on lap 7 out of 8.
This is one of the steepest climbs. It kicks up into the woods, and then it's techie and physical all the way through.
Here it is, Ollie, look.
See, just on this false flat, Mathieu van der Poel using that power to fly past, and you see Luca Martin gives Boischi a little push to get onto the wheel.
There is no replacement for displacement. Look at the power, he just winds on there.
Great to see Luca Martin. You see, he just gives Boischi a shove, lift to say, just
get after him.
Just hold the wheel.
What's it looking like at the minute then? So Van der Poel leads. It's stable for the time being. 174 beats per minute, plays 172. Martin versus Van der Poel, both in the amber, zone 4 on the Whoop Live.
It will not be, it'll be in the red in 3 minutes. To put money on that.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably one of the safest bets you can make. Avendetto is still in 5th place, Vidare's in 4th, but meanwhile, it's Mathieu van der Poel. He's warmed up now, He's had 7 laps.
Well, here we go. Dropping down this fast descent into the 4 cross section. And then we're going to get the bell.
I mean, there is no context to put it in. If that man in front of the minute wins today, 7 years after he won his last UCI cross-country Olympic World Cup, he's in decent nick.
I mean, we know how good Mathieu van der Poel is, one of the best cyclists of all time. We've all watched that Tour de France final stage. We've watched Flanders, we've watched Roubaix. But to come back after a few disappointments, and if he can win this one and set himself up for the Worlds, that'll be some result.
Yeah, somebody could deliver a fresh bag of superlatives to the commentary booth, that'd be great. But there's a lot of racing to go here in Ligier, yeah, and they're all still together. We should emphasise that. The top 5 have been the top 5 all race long, albeit in a slightly shuffling order, but it's only really the front 3 that have shuffled around the lead. Vidare and Avendetto, 4th and 5th, have kind of held station there. Can they now bring something to the party late in the day? We're going to find out. Van der Poel leads Boissy. Boissy slightly faster through that right-hander. Martin watching on from 3rd place for Cannondale. Van der Poel up around this left-hander during practice was absolutely untouchable. Let's see how he goes round it today. Lap 7 out of 8. Look how close they all are as well.
But I think these riders, Boissy and Martin, when they hit that climb, no one, I think, in the world can follow Mathieu van der Poel up a 2-minute climb. But it's at the back end of a race. How much energy have these riders got?
They know they are in for a first-class speedy border ticket to the Pain Cave. Once they head out onto this start-finish straight, they're going to take the bell after they go through the tech feed zone.
But Boissy took the lead again in the rock garden.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting if this comes down to a sprint.
Big move from Adrian Boissy in the rock garden as he leads them across the line. Paul 6 after the Decathlon CMA. CGM rings the bell. Another man happy to watch Mathieu van der Poel at his work and not have to take him on. Here we go.
And Boissy goes.
Adrian Boissy attacks, decides to take the race into his own hands. Mathieu van der Poel slots back into 3rd wheel. Luca Martin in 2nd now. Still Vidare holds on in 4th place. Avendetto in 5th.
And they climb up, they go off the forest track, onto the grass.
Simone Avendetto pulling out, slightly different line through the rock section. Finds himself a little bit of clear air, but still Adrian Boissy grinding away at the front.
The toughest section of this climb is as they come off the grass back onto the forest track. It kicks up, it's double track, but it kicks up all the way up into the woods.
Phil Dixon roaring encouragement to Luca Martin, currently in 2nd place behind Adrian Boissy. Vidare now up out of the saddle in 4th place, and now Boissy goes again. Adrian Boissy attacks up the top of the climb. Luca Martin looks like he hasn't got an answer for it. Adrian Boissy likes the blue touch paper in Ligier.
This is the steepest section. Van der Poel looking to go around Luca Martin.
As Dario Lillo takes the bell and heads out onto the final lap. What's happening at the front? It's still Boissy up the top of the climb. It's Van der Poel in 2nd, and look who's gone with him. Vidare. Martin has dropped back to 4th now.
Look at Van der Poel, he's clawing back. It took him a while to get round Luca Martin, but he's got back on the wheel. Martin Vidare has also covered that move. But Luca Martin has dropped back.
Van der Poel getting lower and lower over the stem of that canyon. Vidare, there's Yolanda Neff at the side of the course, roaring Luca Martin on. But the top 3 are getting further and further away from the young Frenchman who won here last season. And a mistake from Avendetto. He all clips, the cracks are starting to show.
Look at Martin Vidare just following again. The smartest of smart races.
You called it from the start. Vidare could be riding an absolute blinder here today, but Adrian Boissy, his young French teammate, is doing the business out front for the time being and keeping the boss, Mathieu van der Poel, at bay.
But it's when Boissy attacked, he picked that steepest section of the forest track, and Mathieu van der Poel got caught just behind Luca Martin. It took him a while to get round, but he did it.
Van der Poel stalks Adrien Boissy up the top of the climb. Luca Martin 5 seconds off the lead of the race now. Vidari slightly further back now as well. Vidari in trouble now in third place as it's turned into Boissy versus Van der Poel.
Vidari, he's fast on the descent. Can he close back on the gap? 2-second gap.
This one has been an absolute treat. It's been fascinating start to finish. What is the final lap going to provide us? Boissy leads, Van der Poel in second, Vidari in third, Luca Martin in fourth, Avendetto further back now in fifth, looking like he's still paying the price for all his efforts in that little bubble at the top of the first climb of the lap. The fans hanging over, roaring their heroes on.
Yeah, Martin is now, he's recovered. He's used that descent to get onto the back wheel of Martin Vidari. They're fighting now to hold the front, but it's Boissy who's putting the pressure on, but Van der Poel has got, like I say, he's got the answers on the descent.
This is the final battle of what has been a long war. And Adrien Boissy has his front wheel in front of the fastest riders in the world. One of the most famous names in cycling of all time is in second place. That man on your screen now, opposite Premier Tech's Mathieu Van der Poel.
Boissy accelerating out of that corner, but good descent by Van der Poel. He's managed to hold the back wheel of Boissy.
Vidari starting to get further and further distance. It's still 5 seconds between Vidari and the front of the race. The rider in third at the minute. Luca Martin is trying to close in the back at Chilean. Here the overtakes. Watch Boissy here. Pops through the rocks and then slams a door on Van der Poel. That will not be forgotten for the last run through there.
And also as well, if this comes down to a sprint, that'll be some overtake.
What a move that is from Adrien Boissy. We saw him pull it on Luca Martin earlier in the race, but to do it to Mathieu Van der Poel.
Boissy goes again on this false flat. He's putting the power on. Look at the gap now. Vidari's blown.
Yeah, Vidari's gone. Vidari's gone. Luca Martin rolls past him. We wondered, we thought Martin Vidari might be a factor at the endless race, but it's boiling up to be a head-to-head fight between Adrien Boissy, a Specialized factory race, and a Mathieu Van der Poel of Alpecin Premier Tech. Boissy won the short track on Friday evening.
Boissy is going long. This is a max effort. He's putting the tempo through. We go round. This is steepest corner just coming up, and then it's that big false flat before the last kick up, the big last climb of the race. That's where we saw Mathieu Van der Poel attack the lap before.
This is a dangerous tactic from Adrien Boissy, but he's riding like only he knows how. He's riding on instinct here, Ollie.
Yeah, this is a steep one now, just as they come up to this section, and then it's into the false flat. Boissy puts down the power walk because he's got under the tank.
There's a spot here on the right-hand side. We saw Luca Martin attack on last year.
There he goes.
Van der Poel, wise to it though. Boissy stands. Now Mathieu Van der Poel has to come up with some answers. Boissy asking the questions. Adrien Boissy keeping Mathieu Van der Poel at bay, but not by much. Look at the crowds at the top of that climb, absolutely loving this. The young French hero taking on the superstar.
They come round the corner, they hit that last climb, then you're into the woods. Can Boissy get a gap?
And look at these two just hanging on. A fight to the grim death between Luca Martin and Martin Vidari. Martin mouth open, gulping in air. Avendetto's behind them now. They're coming into play for third place. Luca Martin swings into the climbs. This little punch up here. We need to rejoin the front to see what's happening between Boissy and Van der Poel. Boissy still holds the lead now on the number 2 Specialized. But Mathieu Van der Poel is still right there with him, Ollie.
Yeah, we got one little kick up round the corner. Hardly any climbing left of this lap, then it's all down to the descent, and then we're into the grass switchbacks.
Boissy versus Van der Poel. Who would you tip on the descent, Ollie? Who's got the advantage?
Boissy, but the way that Van der Poel is descending today, it's come up a significant notch, and he is not losing time to Boissy, but Boissy's got that
and we do
jump into the corner.
And we do have a start-finish straight though to contend with as well. This one hangs in the balance. One of the absolute modern classics.
But we know the punch and the kick, the sprint that Mathieu van der Poel's got. He's just got to hang on to the, if he can hang on to the wheel and get to the grass.
18.7 on the strain scale on the Wood Live, 162 beats per minute from Mathieu van der Poel. We know a Tour de France stage is around about 19 on that scale, so van der Poel throwing absolutely everything at it. Boissy has a slight gap now. This is starting to pay off for Adrian Boissy. In the descent, needs the descent of his life here if he wants to keep the Dutchman at bay.
See, van der Poel is only losing a few metres, but he's got that grass section.
Van der Poel is going to have to, I don't even know what he's going to have to do to get past Boissy here, but whatever he's going to do is going to be spectacular. You can bet your mortgage on that.
But this little bit, I think he will get back onto the wheel now. He's got the power, but he's going to burn some energy to do it.
The crowd in Ligier are going absolutely wild. The commentary booth here is shaking as the noise level increases. They both go through that right-hander really, really smoothly. Boissy knows that he cannot make a single mistake from here to the finish line. Van der Poel needs to get caught back up, needs to get onto the back of the young French rider. Van der Poel closing the gap now as they head to one of the steepest corners on the circuit.
Look at the speed of Van der Poel. He's taking a meter out of Boissy, but Boissy accelerating out the corner onto this false flat.
Boissy pushes, grinds. This could be the biggest victory of his young career so far. Mathieu van der Poel wants to turn the clocks back 7 years. He's got a bit of work to do if he's going to do it. Boissy through the rocks for the last time. Just the start finish to go. Adrian Boissy is going to beat Mathieu van der Poel at his home UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup. Take a bow, Adrian Boissy. Mathieu van der Poel is vanquished in second place. What a result from the young Frenchman.
That last descent from Boissy, they got the gap, and that proved significant.
Je veux récupérer mes points.
One of the best to ever do it, Mathieu van der Poel.
Putain, je suis mort.
Third place is going to go to
Purée, quelle course, et quel combat de fou. Et il a donné plus de la moitié de la course. Il l'a fait full gaz à 200%. Et Mathieu, il a tenu presque jusqu'au bout. Hein. Ah, c'était impressionnant. Impressionnant.
Fast on the descents, but specialised first and third.
A third career win for Adrian Boissy, now equal with his compatriot Luca Martin. A 12th career podium for Mathieu van der Poel.
Oh, Flutiger, je l'ai enterré un peu trop vite, hein, 6ème place quand même. Je l'ai viré de la prédiction. Bon bah les gars, alors je vérifie bien, mais je crois que personne n'a voté pour lui. Boissy Adrien 0, 0, 0, 0. Ouais. Eh bien écoutez, finalement grâce à Boissy, tout le monde a gagné parce qu'on récupère tous nos points. Supprimer et rendre les points. Bravo Boissy. C'est vrai que le mec en chillance, il est juste venu en repérage en fait. Il est venu en repérage pour le week-end prochain, c'est tout. Regarde, il a pas l'air fatigué là. Là il s'est dit bon, c'est bientôt l'apéro là. Je respire un peu, mais coupez déjà le saucisson, j'arrive. Ok, Lilo 8ème. Nice. Champion suisse. Je pense que Van der Poel il est un peu deg, mais en même temps content parce que c'est vrai que faire deuxième place et puis t'as pas fait de VTT de l'année là. Ouais, le week-end prochain ça va être la guerre. Ouais. Incroyable. Bon les gars, je vous avoue que moi j'ai autre chose à faire du dimanche. Mais merci à tous d'avoir été là. Vous êtes tous des seigneurs, vous êtes tous des chefs. Je vais vous laisser sur ces belles images. Je vous laisse le podium et après le podium, en général, je mets un peu de pub. Donc, si vous voulez soutenir la chaîne, vous pouvez juste follow, etc. Puis vous barrer. Si vous voulez soutenir un peu plus, vous pouvez checker les pubs après le podium. Et puis, il vous suffit juste de laisser l'écran allumé. Hein. Vous pouvez aller au shot, aller boire un truc et tout. Vous laissez l'écran allumé sur les pubs. Et puis sinon, barrez-vous. Puis on se voit le week-end prochain pour les autres courses. Le vélo de descente, le VTT rapide et long. Je crois que c'est jeudi, vendredi et puis dimanche ou un truc comme ça. Je vous ai mis le lien avant là, je vais vous le remettre du programme. Il est où? Là. Copier. Alors, tac. Merde. Tac. C'est bon, ça a marché? Oui, c'est bon. Voilà, ça c'est le programme de Val d'Isole, si jamais c'est le site officiel. Et puis ouais, au week-end prochain, je vous souhaite tous une bonne fin de dimanche. Je vous laisse les podiums. Après, je coupe. Un peu de pub avant que je coupe. Et puis voilà, sinon barrez-vous. Et puis voilà. En tout cas, c'était un plaisir de discuter avec vous et tout. Hier, le DH, c'était incroyable. Et puis voilà, on va écouter les pubs depuis les toilettes, voilà, c'est parfait, c'est parfait, pas besoin de plus. Ça marche. Alors, bon dimanche, bonne fin de dimanche plutôt, parce qu'il est déjà 16h là. Et puis bonne semaine, puis on se voit le week-end prochain quoi. Ça joue? Des bisous, et puis pas de bêtises.
Lucas Schwartzbar 12, Puntener 13th, Aldridge down in 14th, Colombo, Feudal, Shermans, Shatty, Dascalu. Well, Adrian Boishy got the job done. Here he is, here's your race winner. Here's Adrian.
Adrian Boishy, I cannot put it into words. Can you?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I grew up being a massive fan of Matthew, and I have seen every time I see him on TV, yeah, he's special. And to think that I was able to have a fight with him and all the others today is something I remember forever.
And something you should be so proud of, the way that you went on that race and how aggressive you were. Was that the plan from the start?
Yeah, I mean, I always go to the races with not really a plan and just see how my legs are, and yeah, I'm just so happy.
How much confidence does this give you leading into next week's World Championships?
I don't know about confidence. I get my confidence from the training I do. I mean, from tomorrow on, I start from zero again, and I try to prepare Worlds as best as possible. But today, I just want to enjoy the race.
Enjoy doing the double here in Leger. How does that sound?
Yeah, it will take a few days to sink in, that's for sure. Yeah, it's by far the most beautiful win of my career. With how I felt, how hard the race was, and how beautiful the battle was. Yeah, it's something I remember forever.
Enjoy it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's something I think we'll all remember for a very, very long time. Adrian Boishy delighting his home fans, delighting his team. Sending the mountain bike world into overdrive. Mathieu van der Poel taking off and away from him. So much faster and aggressive on the descents than we've ever seen him before. Went away retooled after this race last season. And was beaten today by Adrian Boishy, fair and square. But will take some stopping next weekend in Val d'Isole. There's a lap comparison. Boishy fastest on lap 1, lap 6 and lap 8. Luca Martin fastest on lap 4. Flukiger got 2. David listed actually 2 fastest laps on 3 and 5. Luca Braido got lap 7. Well, we can hear now from third place today, Specialized Factory Racing's Martin Vidori. Here he is.
Martin Vidori, welcome back to the podium. How does that feel?
It's just incredible. It's been a rough year, So yeah, seeing the kids winning, I'm still young, but they are younger, so they put some fire in me, I must say. So I work hard this couple of weeks, and I'm so happy it just pay off. It's 1 week before like the best race of the year, Valley. So I'm excited for that. So I'm so happy to be in shape now and be closer to these younger guys. They're just flying.
The race out there, are you able to talk us through it and how intense it was? Because that's just what it looked like. It was kind of pillar to post.
Honestly, I tried to be composed the whole race. Like my bike, the Specialized Epic 9, just helped me to just recover a lot on the descents. It's not a technical course, it's just all about being fresh on the uphills. So I had to be composed, relax, and try to save as much as I could till the last lap. I knew the guys were strong, so I tried everything, and yeah, I ended up with a third, but happy with my performance. I must say, it's hard, but it feels so good.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
Martin Vidare, huge character. Great to see him back at it. And just like everyone else inside that top 20, will fancy a good run at the World Champs. But tonight will belong to those two. Here's how the overall looks after that. Just 15 points between Adrien Boissy and Luca Martin now at the top of the overall. Bjorn Riley's in third. Quieter day in the office for him. Simone Avendetto in fourth. Dario Lilo in fifth. Azaro ill today in sixth. Vidari behind him. Aldridge now out of the top 10. Slugager up into 13th. Well, we can hear now from 7th place today, David List is down there with our very own Josh Carlson right now.
David List, the form continues. That was a hard-fought battle just off the back of the lead group.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. Just after the start, I got caught in a crash, so I fall far back. So yeah, I lost a lot of time in the first laps, and I think a lot of energy because I felt quite good, like almost on Friday. But for sure, in such a high-class field, you need to have every second count, and yeah, that's maybe it, the word for today. But overall, I'm happy with the performance. That's racing, I mean.
Fantastic weekend, well done.
Thank you so much, see you.
David List, enjoy that one. Riders cooling down at the finish. Well, we can hear now from Alpecin Premier Tech's Mathieu van der Poel. Second place today, what a race.
Mathieu van der Poel, mountain biking has missed you. Have you missed it?
Yeah, of course. I think today was really nice to be in the front again. It has been a while, but makes a big difference to start on the first two row, and I was immediately in the first group, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I think missed a little bit the last punch to win, but happy with the performance.
There's a bit of a new generation of riders coming through. Were you expecting them to be that strong?
Yeah, I mean, I know what the level is. I know Adrien as well, and I wanted to go as a first rider into the last technical section, but he was just a bit too strong to overtake him, and yeah, then I was on the limit.
And then next weekend we have World Championships. How much confidence does that give you leading into that?
Yeah, it's nice, but I think last year I did a good performance here, and the week in Grand Montana, the week after I was not so good. So, like I said, I think the starting position is quite important, and I will be again on the 5th row there, so I need a bit of luck.
And then, what's harder, winning on the Champs-Élysées or winning here in Ligier?
Yeah, I didn't win today, so I guess this is harder.
Congratulations, thanks so much.
Thank you.
He didn't win today, but he threw absolutely everything at it. enjoyed that one, I think, Van der Poel. Even if the result was maybe one spot off what he strives for. Adrien Boissy wins at home in Ligier. Martin Vidare, third place today. That big smile is back on the podium. Mathieu Van der Poel, one of the greatest cyclists to ever climb aboard a bike. Second place for him. Adrien Boissy with the aerial overtakes all afternoon long. Look at that. Boissy wins for Specialized.
Welcome to the Men's Elite World UCI Mountain Bike World Series Cross Country Olympic Award Ceremony.
Presenting VIPs will be in a third place VIP, Paul Sexas, cycliste professionnel Decathlon CMA.
Paul Sexas is on hand
Second place VIP, Lionel Tardy, vice-président
to present some hardware.
First place VIP, Philippe Villet, maire des Jets.
In third place, representing Specialized Battery Racing,
Martin Vidare, third place today, the Chilean national champion for Specialized. Paul Sexas handing out the trophies here in Ligier. Mathieu Van der Poel awaits. Huge performance from one of cycling, if not cycling's biggest star. Van der Poel back on a mountain bike, back with a bang. But by his standards, left one place short of what he wanted. And now, the French have another home winner in Ligier, and it is that man. Adrien Boissy takes his first ever cross-country double. What a place to do it. And what a fashion to do it in. Adrien Boissy wins in Ligier and wins an absolute thriller in the process. Boissy from Van der Poel, from Vidare. These two